मेरे साथ मेरे मत्थे लिख दी 20% दिक्कतें, दिमाग में एक तस्वीर सी से छपते देख, धंधे बोलने वाले उनका लीडर एक। हेलो हेलो हेलो हेलो लॉन्डो, क्या हाल है? ये चल रहा है PMGC ब्रो, PMGC फाइनल्स 2022। ये लाइक करो भाई।
Kami tidak pernah menyangka
इशारे की है, वर्वी इशारे की है, वर्वी एपिथन। हेलो ब्रो, 5 बजे से है, ऐसा है क्या? नवुल्ली में सीने से खार खाने लगे सब।
yang membuat kami percaya
कर टू कर रहा दर्द, बारू तेरी बॉस से दिमाग सोच रहा कब्र, पारा एक्सप्रेस दिमाग सोच रहा बस। तुम भी खेलोगे? नहीं ब्रो, प्रोफेशनल लीग,
bukan hanya tentang
वर्ल्ड लीग दुनिया भर के, चाइना वाइना ओवरऑल पूरी कंट्री, ग्लोबल मैचेस हैं। फाइनल्स है उसका, 3 दिन चलेगा, आज कल और परसों। हैकर पीटर से सोगा जमीन ले रखी भी लेने। आइए स्पर्श भाई,
terima kasih untuk kesempatan
सेक्सी घर पे सीन। क्या हाल है स्पर्श भाई? तुम अब खेलोगे ब्रो? अभी इंडिया में तो बैन ही चल रहा है ये। अमित ये प्यारा बॉय प्यारा बॉय तुम्हारा वो है, प्यारा बॉय तुम्हारा भाई है, प्यारा बॉय। ये अरे बैंगर हाँ 5 बजे से क्या वीटी है ये क्या वीटी है? भैंस की आंख। लाइक करो तुम लोग भाई, तुम लोग बताओ तब तक क्या किया जाए? कुछ देखोगे क्या बकचोदी? तस्वीर सी उसे छपते देख, गंदे बोलने वाले उनका लीडर एक। यहाँ एक निभावे सारे हैं खपीटर से, या 200 गज जमीन ले रखी वीले ने, मेडी लिखला लेके बाहर माल गली से, फिर एक ही रास्ता पर वो बार बार बने कठिन से मेरे लावा मेरे घर पे सीन। ये सेक्सी सा बताओ यार।
ternyata terbait oleh tim war karena bagian info dengan sangat baik karena dia tahu
हो लाइक करो भाई, लाइक करते रहो जो नया सब्सक्राइब करते रहो। और बुंड फाड़ गेम प्ले आने वाला है आगे, क्रेजी वॉच पार्टी है ये, वॉच पार्टी। भाई मेखारी पंसा वैश्या इशारे की है, भरवी दिशा देखी है। चार 15 पे है भाई। ये क्या वक्त चोरी है? तीन 15 पे कह रहे थे यार। बक को तू शाख मत दिखा, छोटे मुझे आँख मत दिखा, तू रोशनी मत डाल मेरी जात पे, तू सूरज को चिराग मत दिखा। 4-15 पे है क्या? करते हैं सीन, देखते हैं क्या सीन होता है। कुछ भी लगे सीन ये ख्यालम मेरे भी करते, मेरे खता करते थे मेरे भी करते, करते हैं पैरों पे दिख रहे टू द गेम पर। ये कैसे नोवा कॉम्प्लेक्स, यहाँ वो चाहते नंबर
fast. Hello everyone, I'm Zin.
Hello guys, I'm Yuhai.
Skeptic.
Their
There
team
is
is
chance,
very
okay,
good one, strong
Yuhai.
one. They have good communications. They know how to react in large circles and how to control everything.
So 2K I started know them.
इंडिया
since
जीतेगी इसमें
we are
इंडिया है ही नहीं भाई
Southeast Asia, right?
इंडिया
We
में
fought
बैन
with,
है ना
SPG, right?
इंडिया है ही नहीं भाई
Started from there, I see that they're very big.
इंडिया की को पार्टनर टीम है नेपाल से गई हुई है
I think
एसटी
they'll
गॉडल
Did you
उसको
win?
गॉडल ने
Yeah, I think I
हाँ
will
पार्टनरशिप पे लिया हुआ है
So let's see.
1v1 challenge, let's start.
Team match, let's go.
भाई बस दुआ ही
Wow, wow.
That was nice one.
Thank you. Oh, luck bro, luck.
3:10 PM पे ओपनिंग सेरेमनी फॉलोड बाय अ शो मैच एट 3:30 ठीक है 4:15 पे गेम स्टार्ट हाँ ठीक है सिर्फ ज़्यादा वो नहीं तुम्हारे भाई ने स्क्रीन टाइमर लगा दिया नेवर ऑफ कभी ऑफ नहीं होगी इस टाइम तो कितने बेकार खाएंगे
Okay.
और फिर की वजह से मेरे साथ भाई थे कर सकते हैं रुको जरा मोदी भाई को कॉल करके आया अरे करो ना थक गए हम तुम करो ना
Fine.
I thought he was OP. I'm gonna win.
Yeah, I take my word back.
You won.
Game 2. I'll take my revenge.
You sure?
Yeah,
Let's go.
let's go.
Let's see who's the best shooter.
Wow, he's too good. Keep some point for me, bro.
Okay.
नाइस सही है भाई ऐसे अपडेट देते रहो तुम लोग
I think that's enough for.
No, I need to win, bro.
यू है तगड़ा खेलता है भाई ये बंदा ये जो है ना पतला वाला गीक अभी भी उसमें आ गया पहले उसमें था किसमें था
Finish.
यू भाई नोवा में
I have chance.
नोवा से भी
Last
खेला है
chance?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
ये पेटियां
Nice. One more, brother. Let's
होएगा
go.
जो होएगा देखा जाएगा लाइक करो तुम लोग
Nice. You got 60
दोनों ही
point,
पतले
I got 55.
What the fuck,
I
bro?
lose, so game
तुम
three,
मेरी और
let's
उसकी बात कर रहे हो या वो जो बैठे हुए हैं पतला तो मैं भी हूँ चकटी की चकटा कच्चू सामने वाले संचार तू संचार धब्बे वाले हम पिल्ले 101 है मेरे 101 क्या
No, I just
मेरे
give
चार
you a chance on it.
पीली अगले दिन तो सुपरसोनिक फटी पड़ी पड़ी मेरी शो के दिन स्कूटी सवारी भी ना रुकी नोएडा से लेके निजामुद्दीन कहते ही अब आका ही खाता है खाता तेरी माँ से पिलपिले बजे
That was nice.
Thank you, Ram.
पिलपिले What the fuck bro
It's okay. One more left.
One more. Good luck.
You saying good luck and taking all the kills.
देख के खुश रहो खाली इमेज नहीं मैं
Where
अच्छा
are
नहीं
you?
कोई भी शक नहीं तेरी बड़ी सर बहुत पढ़ाई हमें कोई बत्ती फोड़े बत्तियां देना पिया मगा नक्की हमारे स्कूल में टीचर का नाम था भाई
Win one. Let's go for the
नंबर
punishment.
सेलेक्ट सेक्टर
Which one will you like to choose?
I'll be
दो
choosing
एक्टर
this one.
सदमा चढ़े पैसे मुझे
And,
सारे जहां जाने मुझे सहारा
This one.
So guys, I need to choose this one and killer very tough.
क्या है मैच स्टार्ट नहीं हो रहा तो इनसे यही बकचोदी करवाते हैं अब आए गए हैं ये लोग स्टूडियो में तो इनसे यही बकचोदी करवा लो भाई
Too good.
Yeah.
You know it?
पेड एक्टर है ये
Yeah, I find it very interesting because we get to know each other a
लूंगा
lot.
उनकी मैं
So
थोड़ी
it was
सी
very
सड़ा के
fun.
इन
I'm
जैसों पे
so
हो तो
happy to meet Jen from T2K and yeah, we have fun
पीसी
together.
स्ट्रीमिंग का स्टार्ट करेगा ब्रो
My
यार
fans,
देखना पड़ेगा भाई
Animal fans, don't
अभी
forget
पहले
to
एक बेस
support us
बनाना
and don't
पड़ेगा
forget to
यार
watch us
स्पर्श भाई
on the grand final in Jakarta.
So,
सब गेमों में एकदम से हाथ नहीं डाल सकता मैं
हेर्नेहरू सबैजनाले सपोर्ट गरिदिनु होला हामी नेपालबाट नेपाललाई रिप्रेजेन्ट गर्न
अभी
आएको
जब
यहाँ
क्वार्टर
सो
अंदर ऐसे
सबैजनाहरू
रिश्ते पर जब मेरे लोड़े
पब्जीमोबाइललाई फलो
और मैं रहता
गरिदिनुहोस्
पहले भी रहता था टच में नहीं ये बता अभी ये अलग है
हेरिदिनु
और
होला
पहले से कर रहा था
धन्यवाद।
हसल जब पापा को लगता था बेटा ना वैलोरेंट देखना पड़ेगा ब्रो गेम में कौन कौन लोग ऑनलाइन है? Dagadala mala mala crew. Shaka laka boom. Kaka tiki taka choo. हम काले दब्बे वाले हम पिल्ले 101 है मेरे 101 ये कौन है भाई? वो बोलते हैं होप है डोप है अभी भी, तो रुक के किसके लिए थे? अजीज से एक हेलो ब्रो, वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम। क्या हाल है भाई? व्हाट द फक चल रहा है यहाँ सीन?
This is a simulation game set in a virtual world
सांसों के साथ भी
and does not represent real life. Please play in moderation, take frequent breaks, and play responsibly.
1v1 रूम अभी
Team match.
रूम
Let's
खेलेगा
go.
क्या? मेरे पे रूम है नहीं ब्रो, खेल तो सकते हैं, रात को खेलता हूँ मैं फुल पावर रूम
Fall back to safe zone.
करूँ ना मैं रूम पैराडॉक्स आया मैं खो जाए खुद को तो
The blue team has scored for the first time. Going in.
दीवार पे दे रहा जो भी बस होना चाहिए बस। स्नाइपर देना पड़ेगा इसको। आईडी दे दो, डिस्क्रिप्शन में आपको आईडी मिल जाएगी ब्रो, डिस्क्रिप्शन में आईडी है देखो। ये इन्होंने अंदर से छोड़ दिया अपना नहीं मन अपने बदन का हिस्सा है। 1/2 सीधे मौत वर्क कोर बैक टू बैक वंस मोर, जानी जो भी करते काम हम तक चुका है पूरा जोर और
Killing spree for the
मिला मैं
red
वहीं इस
team.
बंदे से।
Flank right.
अबे मरा क्यों नहीं? नहीं मेरा भाई आईडी दे दो, आईडी यार डिस्क्रिप्शन में देख, सबसे ये देख यहाँ पे डिस्क्रिप्शन खोल मेरी इसी चैट का, और इसमें BGMI ID है ना 1 बैटल ग्राउंड करके है ब्रो, चैट में देखो, वो डिस्क्रिप्शन में देखो तुम्हें मिलेगी। सब तो आता जाएंगे लौंडे छाए। चले यार इनको पहले मारूं। डिस्क्रिप्शन में है देखो, मैं बोल दूं अगर नहीं मिल रही है तो मैं बोल सकता हूँ ब्रो, ऐसे मैं अभी लिख के नहीं दे पाऊंगा। गया मैं। हाँ बोल दो, ठीक है बोल देता हूँ भाई, ये कर सकता हूँ। मेरी आईडी है ब्रो 5119499058। ये हेडफोन लगाने पड़ेंगे लग रहा है, लगा जाओ। अरे भाई 3-3 प्रोफाइल दिखा देना, प्रोफाइल पिक्चर ये होगी देखो, ब्रावो स्नाइपर। जिला प्रसाद पापी नगर। कम पड़े सहारा।
Be careful. You're losing the game.
The blue team doesn't have a lot of
तुम्हारी
time
कैसे नाम से है
left.
भाई?
Expired.
ऋषि bro, what the fuck?
Search for vehicles. There's an ambush. Play it safe. I'm going in. Nice shot! No mercy! Half of the match is over, and the red team is in the lead.
कैसा हूँ मैं आदमी, स्वाद माँ के हाथ का भी याद नहीं। पुराने लौंडे बोले लड़ू करे कभी बात नहीं, तो बता क्या कमाया अगर लौंडे खड़े साथ नहीं। और इस गंदी औलाद को बता दे कि
Red team victory.
होए होए मशीन बन गया ये आदमी। लाइक करो भाई, क्या कर रहे हो? इसी अक्लों ने सुनी इस गंदी औलाद की। भाई तेरी किस आईएम आईडी है? अजीज अजीज सिख। लवी पे जाके एक बार प्रोफाइल दिखा देना, मैं स्क्रीनशॉट कर लूंगा। तेरे को टीम कोड डालना आता है भाई? 5119499058। तेरे को टीम कोड डालना आता है भाई? तो टीम कोड डाल दे देता हूँ मैं फटाक से। टीम कोड से आ जा। खुद ही किया यार, शो में फंस गया बेचारा। खाए रगड़े सारा कम पड़े सहारा। किस किस पर हर कदम पे टकता, और साला ठुकू भी कैसे जब सूरज का समय नहीं दिखता। एक सेकंड ना। ओए चलो भाई देखते हैं अब। बाबे रात को ही देख, अभी खेल तो हम रात को ही पाएंगे लग रहा है मुझे अभी वो करना पड़ेगा जो चीज़ के लिए मैंने स्ट्रीम खोली है, वो करना पड़ेगा।
I would rate them in this tournament, in this finals. I don't even know what, but just disregard that.
Hey, a massive F, okay? Hopefully you know F's in the chat for them. but I mean, clearly, hopefully not.
I think एम से ही आएगा। ओके मैं एक्सेप्ट कर लूँगा ब्रो। अभी खेलेंगे आराम से थोड़ी देर में, ठीक है?
They beat the record with the most elimination 7 for a single chicken dinner. 27 in the spring season. Turkey's been just growing so much in the past few years, and right now maybe at a level where they can compete for the trophy.
I was so lucky to meet them in Istanbul last month, and these guys, I talked to them. How are you guys feeling going into this World Championship? This is once in a lifetime experience, essentially, right? You don't get another chance at this. Potentially, right? Because the qualifiers are so hard. And they're saying we're going into this guns blazing. We have the confidence. We have just the type of person and the character as well to be able to win this and take this home. And honestly, after meeting them, I am convinced they are.
And for me, Fireflux has to be the clutch factor, because this team, it came down to the last game of Group Green for them to actually clutch it up and get here to the grand finals. I'm hoping it doesn't stay till the last game. I'm hoping they're able to clutch up right away.
I mean, Green, the group of death,
Yes.
right, able to make it through. That came out as a really big surprise, but right now they made it to the highest stage possible.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, Turkey, they've been looking so
It's
good.
DRS
Can they go
Gaming,
the entire way? We'll have to see
representing
these next 3 days.
We'll
Nepal.
have to wait to find out, as we do have DRS Gaming.
DRS.
DRS Gaming, yes.
DRS
Was
अच्छी
that
team
DRS
है.
Gaming already on the stage? It's going quick. Oh yeah, it's going quick. Just popping out of the tunnel over there. I like these guys too, right? Just wanna shine with that information. I talked to them as well. One of their moms is actually their manager, and it was completely lovely talking to them. And these guys as well. They're so incredibly confident in this. You can just tell when talking to them. They know who they are. They know who they are as players, as individuals. And I think that as well is something that the winner mentality, you just feel it sometimes. And that's something that is needed and necessary to be able to perform at the highest, the very, very highest level.
I gotta feel, it almost feels like it would be illegal to not have DRS in a PMGC. They make it every single year. They're just here, you don't know how. And they once again representing Nepal, and they made it so often to this stage. Wouldn't it be great to see a Nepali win on the biggest stage here in the grand finals and take the trophy? It could happen. It could be this year in 2022.
And I would have to agree with you on that. DRS, I mean, we're used to seeing them PMGC, but this is actually their first
Next,
PMGC Grand
making their
Finals.
PMGC
Will they
debut,
crumble or will they rise up?
it's Influence
That's a
Gaming
big
from
storyline. Hopefully
Brazil.
it'll be the case, but we've got some big contenders. We'll have to see how one goes, be it that's for you here, Seven. Influence Kevin will look in so good, especially in their stage.
Yeah, the only team, especially out of Brazil, that was actually able to qualify to the grand finals from group stages. We have seen amazing potential at this team. I mean, what else can we say about them, right? They have such great quality players. Brazil, we're talking about Turkey. I'm going to talk about Brazil. Because there's just so many great players from Brazil. I can't wait to see what they're going to be doing, Max.
What was it? 3 out of 4 teams from Brazil all made it to the final. That's an insane success ratio, Seven. I understand why you love the region. They clearly showed up, but so far it's been Nova. It's been Nova again. They got the win. Another region that can get it definitely is Brazil. And I mean, they've been looking so hard in the league stage. If they keep on going here, they could go into
I believe. I'm saving my Brazil pick though. I think everybody will know which one it is.
Yeah, which one? I'm not too sure. Just
From
wait.
Turkey, it's S2G Esports.
One of the most clutch qualifications.
Okay, bro, मैं accept कर लूँगा भाई तुम्हारी
Been able to clutch versus LGD in this game right now. You can see on your screen.
अजीज मेरे friend का नाम भी है यार.
Against the entirety of LGD qualifies his team. That is by far my favorite game of PUBG Mobile ever since I started casting. And Razy is the
world
one
की
to make it
best
happen.
teams आई हैं भाई.
You were telling me that you were a big fan of Kelsey. You just said his name.
He's
But
amazing.
yeah, you were saying he's one of the best players in Europe for you. And I was quite surprised by this name, but not because it's super far-fetched, but because I would have some different names up there in terms of Aussie international experience when we talk looking at HVP who did make it to the finals right now. So that statement surprised me, but then again, as you said, they are here, and they're looking to take it home.
Exactly, I think it's Silas that just gave so much experience to his team, and now Kelsey in particular, as you said, a player that I'm looking at here that can shine so brightly in these finals. You've got so many other teams here. I mean, we're hyping up every team. Just going to show how tough this competition is going to be for these next 3 days.
I'm getting flashbacks of when I got to do group
From
range during
Malaysia,
group stages, and that was group of death, and now this is like the ultimate group of death for everybody.
Yeah, it was like a fever dream group of death, I think, to some extent. But some of the other teams are just looking absolutely fantastic. And GeekFam, so dominant in the league stage. Really, my expectations were like middling for this team, but the domination in the league stage. 61-point lead above 4 Angry Men, a team that has once again been looking so good in their home region of China. And now, we've got a lot of GeekFam in the crowd. We saw them earlier. And especially with Yuhai on the board, you just can't go wrong.
Add me to that group of fans because you just mentioned the name that I wanted to talk about. Yuhai, he had an amazing performance during group stages.
Yuhai Team Secrets की team से खेलता था.
To step it up in a big way, and I feel like this might be an even more of a breakout performance in PMGC Grand Finals.
I mean, he was playing with BTR too. Like, this guy's just been getting so much experience. It can pay off in this event right now, Alex.
Yes, 100%.
Next,
the fans have come from all around the world right now. We saw Malaysian fans right there in the crowd. Supporting that team right now in Jakarta, Indonesia, which, you know, we are live here from as well. We've got to see us in a minute, don't you worry. Yeah, this is just my point. Esports is bringing us together, PUBG Mobile is bringing us together, and, well, that's not wasting time. Let's go on to the next team.
Yeah. Already up. Godlike Star Wars, I don't want to talk about them too much because the curse is around.
In case you're wondering, last year during PMGC Grand Finals, whenever Max actually picked them, they ended up in 7th place. Yeah, they were one of the favorite ones, Max. Are they still one of your favorite teams?
I went to talk to Senator from a distance to not give the curse, you know.
You didn't shake hands, did you?
No.
Smart
miss, but does that count? I'm not sure. Oh, too much maybe. But he said they're looking really confident, and I think that this is the best form this team has currently looked at you in a long, long time. And once again, two Mongolian teams, this is the one that has the highest chance, in my opinion, to maybe take the trophy.
And I hinted at it. I mean, I was talking about Group Green, the group of death during the death stages. Guess what? This team ended up winning that group, so I think they are more than ready. And I think if there was ever a time
the dark horses in your PMGC debut. It's Paragon United Esports of Thailand.
Not only a team that dominated in Group Red, a team that we didn't really know about too much on this stage, but a team with the sickest jersey, I have to say.
Yes.
They are dripped out of their mind.
I was going around just over here in the venue trying to find somebody that was maybe willing to just sell me their jersey. I couldn't find anybody, so I think I might have to do something else. We'll have to wait and see though.
I think it's too hard product.
It probably is. One of the 9 teams also that qualified directly into the grand finals through the group stage. And yeah, we see them coming out right now.
Look at
I do believe there's plenty of fans here in the arena as well. I saw some earlier, some visitors, some of the audience walking in with their jerseys actually. So maybe that's an opportunity for you.
We'll have
to. I'm not putting my hopes up. Just look at it. It looks so good.
Oh,
can I?
crazy.
I know you guys can't see us right now, but I'm definitely trying to look.
Wait, let me try to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got it. Oh, hey, we'll do it.
अभी खेलोगे रात में खेलेंगे अभी थोड़ी देर में देखते हैं ब्रो क्या चलता है मैच के हिसाब से पता है अगर मन हुआ तो खेल लेंगे
Inco Gaming from Brazil.
Brazilian team.
It's still not my Brazilian pick. Okay, still not my Brazilian pick. But the performance that this team had, there is one big question mark for me, and that is all these players. I mean, Nenebete especially, I feel like that player alone put the team on his back match and got us here to the grand finals. And to be fair, I mean, for all these players, it is their first grand finals. I'm really excited to see how they're going to be reacting to that.
I'm just going to give a tip to all the teams and players out there. If you're against Nenebete and he has a DBS, don't fight it, just run, get a buggy, just get out of it, okay? And you'll have a better chance, but they're looking so strong as a team once again. Brazil, we're just talking about the region. Every team that's here is like not just one team clearly is above the rest, like they're all looking so confident right now. And look at that, I see this guy, he's just aiming for the trophy here.
Looking confident, looking good too. Inco Gaming, all right. I'm excited to see what they're going to be doing, Alex.
100%. Also, got to say, all of these teams, obviously, they are in the Americas region as well. And I do have to say, well, this may have been, it's just so sad that we have none of the NA teams here.
You buy direct invitation.
That come from the Americas
Let's
region.
welcome Wolves Esports from China.
Don't break my heart.
Me and said on Copium because there's no NA teams, there's no Western Europe teams. We're like, let's not talk about that. Come on, let's just forget about it for a minute.
Oops, I miss you.
Why did you have to bring that up?
Oh boy, but otherwise got Wolves, of course, you know, a team that previous SMG team, first time playing outside of their region here, 7, and a lot of question marks. Can they play to the level of which 4 Angry Men have been able to do in the past, especially as well as Nova has been able to do in the past? There's a lot of questions surrounding this team, but right now they need to show up in these 3 days.
And I think they're going to be able to surprise a lot of teams. They didn't really get a chance to play group stages or any of the stages before this as they qualified directly. I feel like they're going to be surprising a lot of teams. And something to keep in mind too, with Wolves being here, that is now 3 Chinese teams. And we were talking about this before the show started. I think it might be the first time in grand finals, and I'm pretty sure if we're wrong, somebody's going to correct us on Twitter, but I think it might be the first time in grand finals that we get 3 teams from China, which is crazy.
The odds of the trophy going back to China are
very high.
Yeah, very high, okay? Give it to someone else though, share the love, please.
Next team coming up is going to be T2K, trying to eliminate. And, well, I was talking to you earlier because I wanted to highlight them especially because that is the second team coming out of the Nepal region. And for me, myself, I thought, you know, it is an incredibly strong region, but I had my hopes up for some of the other regions. I would not have expected Nepal to bring 2 into it, but you were just completely on the opposite. It was like saying Nepal, that was almost expected at that point.
Exactly. The thing is that Train to Kill, to get here, they had to absolutely shatter the hopes and dreams of other teams, especially Reject from Japan. Japan was looking so good in the league stage, and it was like, go back from which you came, go back to your region, and we are going to be making it to the grand finals. So you're taking down some top teams outside of your region. Now they've got to live up to the expectations. They need to perform here.
They essentially eliminating a whole region
by direct invitation.
The home team. We saw the crowd going wild earlier. There's dramas in here. There's just almost the whole stadium just supporting AE, and I can understand why. These players are fantastic.
Yeah, alter ego. I mean, I'm excited. I'm really hoping deep down within my heart that they do amazing here, because I want to see this crowd absolutely pop off next.
Hopefully, and the thing is, right, this is the team that qualified directly for the finals. They qualified through Indonesia points throughout the entirety of the year. That shows to me here, Seven, consistency. If this team can play at that level on this stage, chances are the trophy might not go very far and just remain in Indonesia. That would be amazing. But no, taking down teams like EVOS and BTR, Alter Ego, the pressure is on their shoulders. Can they live up to the expectation?
And that's something that I'm so happy that you brought up, because they are one of the only Indonesian team here, right?
Yeah.
The pressure is going to be massive for them. When they get a chance to actually spend some time with the players and talk to the coach, they seem very comfortable. They seem very confident. So I think they will have
For
a performance.
Brazil,
And that's a big question mark.
Alpha
Is a
7
crowd like that also a big
esports.
opportunity to boost your confidence, or is it maybe a different variable in terms of nervousness, in terms of do you really feel comfortable playing at a stage like this with pretty much the home crowd at your back?
If we go based on what we saw earlier in the year, when we go back to PMWI, a lot of the Saudi Arabian teams did pretty well with the home crowd. Yeah, so I think it will play in their favor.
Of course, Alpha 7, I don't even really want to talk about them. I think that's your thing, Seven. Like, you have the rights to talk about them. Go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been hyping it up. I'll be talking about my pick for Brazil, and this is my pick right here. If there was ever a time for Alpha 7 to do great in the grand finals, I feel like this is the grand finals where they're going to be able to showcase that. This is a team that in the previous 2 PMGC finals, they have finished in 9th place twice. And that's just something that I know they're not going to be looking to do here in this grand finals, especially Revo. I mean, he's been playing out of his world. I feel like with Alpha 7, they usually tend to rely a lot in Carrillo, and that is not the case this year. A lot of the other players are stepping up in a big way.
I don't know if you saw that, the stare down of Carrillo. I mean, this man has got determination.
And I was scared back here. Let me tell you.
Some people have been doubting him in the case because he hasn't
Please
been
welcome
MVP in a while.
Vampire
He might be trying to shut
Esports
them out.
of
Yeah, it could be happening. I mean,
Thailand.
the determination is definitely there, but Vampire, we need to bring up this team. Not only the whole region of Thailand has been looking so strong, but the back-to-back winners in the main tournament and after-party showdown
Yes.
of PMWI 2022 in Riyadh. Like, you have 2 different events. The fact that they just win both so dominantly really comes out of nowhere. So really, Vampire, now PMWI, done. Ticked off that box.
Yep.
PMGC is next. Can they make it happen?
And we were talking about, writing history with an event like this. They have already written history this year. And now it's time to maybe get a little bit closer to Nova in terms of just general success in the scene. Sure, maybe that isn't going to, even if they win this, maybe this isn't going to put them on the same level, but we are getting there. And that is their goal. I know these players really need this. They really want this. You've been talking to these guys as well. And, well, if there is any time in history to make something happen, it is now.
Exactly.
The big question mark for me out of Vampire Esports is how are they going to start in day 1? If they do start slow, they usually tend to struggle the whole tournament. Hold on, give me a second. I gotta listen to this.
Nova of China.
क्या
The back-to-back champions of
Back-to-back
PMGC Grand Finals. And I think it's safe to say that they are maybe they are the favorite team to probably try to repeat back-to-back-to-back.
I love the interview of Paraboy too. He's like, oh, it was actually surprisingly easier to qualify to the finals this year. I'm like you've got some teams like Nigma Galaxy, you've got a team, so many good teams that did not qualify. Like, oh, easy peasy, mate. Don't even think about it.
They had the group there, and he said that. And it was so easy that, you know what, I was going to save this for later as we were talking about it, but I'm just going to say it now. I actually got a chance to talk with Paraboy, and he told me that he has switched his button layout. He's going to be going from 2 fingers to 4 fingers. And he's doing that change just for PMGC. And the reason why he's doing that is because he just feels like trying new tricks to make the game more fun for himself.
It's the equivalent of what you get in, like, in that gamer pose. You're like, okay, serious mode activate. Like, because the league stage, this is very like Nova. League stage, a little bit all over the place. The finals, when they have a goal to just aim for, that's when they play at their peak. And especially Orda and Paraboy are still on top, still the 2 best players, if not the best players in the world. The thing is, can they be taken down in this form? It is not going to be easy.
It's not going to be easy, but I mean, we've been saying if there is going to be a time, I think it will probably be this PMGC with all the quality that we have.
And with that being said, we are going over to the stage to Banks and Donaviska. Enjoy, guys. Take it away.
welcome to the 2022 PMGC Grand Finals. My name is Banks and I am your host, and I'm joined on the main stage by my incredible co-host. It is of course Donna Visca.
Halo semuanya, selamat datang di 2022 PMGC Grand Finals.
क्या हल्ला कर दिया इसने?
Wow. Selamat datang teman-teman semuanya. Saya Donna Visca sebagai host kalian, dan pastinya ada Banks di sini sebagai partner saya yang luar biasa.
PMGC brings together the world's greatest mobile gamers, and after a month of explosive action throughout the league, the survival stage, and of course the last chance qualifier, we are now left with the top 16 teams in the world.
Yes, betul sekali. PMGC ini sudah menyatukan mobile gamers terbaik di seluruh dunia. Dan setelah 1 bulan aksi yang memukau kemarin, dari babak liga, dari babak survival stage, dan juga last chance qualifier, akhirnya pada kesempatan kali ini kita telah melihat ke-16 tim terbaik di dunia yang pada kali ini akan bertanding.
So, where are we? Well, it is my pleasure to announce to you that we are coming to you live from Jakarta, Indonesia.
Welcome to PMGC 2022. Once again, my name is Felix. I'm joined by the beautiful Maxman and 7 Worlds Game. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and we're not online. We're here.
I know.
It feels so unreal, 7, to be here. I think every single time we've done an event together is like almost like online somewhat.
Yeah.
But we're here with the team, with the fans,
with the players
it feels
too.
So good. The players are pretty important. The fans are here too, though.
Yes, they're gonna get me hyped up. Okay, we heard them screaming. We saw the Indonesian people. The
Hello,
getting them hyped too,
Manish.
and I was like, yes, this is what I've been missing.
This is pretty hyper right now.
I've had goosebumps, literally goosebumps the first time. Everyone just walked in, audience is full. Before, my goodness, I am just already nervous. Game starting
It's
soon.
really
Before
hype,
we get
okay.
into the first show match of the day, we quickly want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, and especially the Xperia 1 Mark IV. I've got it here. Look at this. The Xperia 1 Mark IV and the Xperia Stream, which were co-developed in collaboration with professional esports players. Play PUBG Mobile with Xperia Stream's total cooling system and multiple ports for intensive gaming and streaming. And also, obviously, we do want to thank Prime Gaming. If you haven't heard about Prime Gaming, you've probably lived under a rock for the last years, because it's just in everyone's mouth. With Prime Gaming, you do get free in-game content for lots of games, and also PUBG Mobile. Free items, premium content, so make sure to sign up and check it out. Also,
PMGC show match
I
होने वाला है
want to
पहले.
thank the PBESI, which is the local esports association in Indonesia, for supporting this event. Thank you to you guys as well. One more notice for you guys at home. If you haven't noticed, there is a PMGC fan favorite vote going on right now for the Grand Finals. So if you have a favorite in mind, and I think all of us do, let's be honest, then make sure to collect PMGC tokens in the Erangel map and use them to vote for your favorite team in the esports center. You will find all of that in game, so make sure just to open your Next up,
तुम भी देखो भाई.
for you guys at home. I know you've seen this a million times, but make sure to follow us on all the social media platforms you see right here. We've got YouTube, we've got Instagram, we've got Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. Everything is available for you guys at home. So make sure to just check it out.
Show match, baby.
Oh yes. Let's get into the spicy parts for today. Today's matches will be starting off with a show match, and it is $3,000 in prize pool for the first one. But there's something special about this show match. It's not just any show match. Tell me about it.
It's actually going to be not a team play, it's just everyone going solo. And I have one big question for this one, right? It's going to be, are we going to see potentially a support or an IGL win instead of fraggers? Because you would think fraggers would have a little bit maybe of an advantage going into this game mode. I would love to see if another kind of role than fragger might get the win here.
Oh man, you know what? I'm actually going to answer that question. I think an IGL might take it.
Ooh, I mean, good rotations.
Yes, great rotations, put themselves in the right place, take only a fight when they need to. I feel like a fragger might just send it. That's what I would do.
But I'm thinking about it now, because now all the teams are going to be split. Are they all going to drop together in the same area, or they're just going to like split out?
No.
You'd have like a mini battle royale in each city, and then you just got one survivor. Like you got the Pachinki survivor, you got the Yasnaya Polyana survivor. There's so many ways this could go down to like initiate things. It's just good fun.
I feel like that's not how the players want to start their PMGC Grand Finals.
Just mad at your teammate the entire
Their
day.
first elimination is your teammate that you're going to be playing 18 matches with. Don't do that. Just go away from it.
Yeah,
but to
yeah,
answer your question,
yeah.
let me bring this scenario up, okay? Who would you take if it's Jimmy from Nova Esports or Paraboy or Order?
I was going to say Order.
Yeah.
So don't leave my boy Order out there. Order. Go Order.
My boy Jim.
I thought you were going to pick like a player from Alpha 7. What's going on?
That's for later. Relax.
Ah, okay. Too soon.
I do have to say though,
क्या हो गया इन्हें? ये क्यों अटक गए?
What's going on?
That's for later. Relax.
Ah, okay. Too soon.
I do have to say though,
उनकी तरफ से अटक रहा है ये. उनकी तरफ से अटक रहा है.
I was thinking, because I used to be in IGL back when I played as well, and just the general thought process of where you would drop, right? Normally you're used to your own drop spots, essentially, right? So I feel like you kind of feel yourself
आपका net issue
hold that
होता
like a
तो
magnet
stream रुक जाती
to some
वही.
degree. But then again, you will see all your teammates. Anyways, let's quickly head on over to the show match participants. Who is going to be playing? To no surprise to you at home, we have everyone here. We've got all the teams
16 team है
in their
भाई,
own right,
लगातार
and that
match है
means,
match.
well, all of these players will have their own teams. Essentially, they're playing for themselves, but the players themselves will come from
कौन
the
लग
teams
रहा
that we
तुम्हें?
have in the
नोवा
PMGC
फिर से
Grand
जीत जाएगी क्या?
Finals.
4
Either
AM की
way.
सेक्टर
So
टीम
then
है
we have
भाई.
SUG,
इस बार
A7,
4 AM भी निकाल सकती है
everyone
Alpha
is here.
7.
Everyone is going to be coming in. 64
ST,
players, 3,000.
T2K सेक्टर टीम है भाई.
Any predictions, Max?
I was going to say predictions.
But
I have one that I think
इस level पे पता
can't
नहीं.
really expect. I'm going to go with Kenzo from BRAM. Reason why, this guy, when we saw him play, just always said, oh man.
Wait,
it's a big
hold
movement.
on. Hold on.
Where's that?
Indonesia.
Ooh, okay. The Indonesian fans are coming in. They're bringing in the hype. I'm loving this. This is a big group, by the way.
This is not. These are not
Alter
fans. This
ego.
is an army.
Alter ego, baby.
आ
They
गए
showed up.
भाई.
We're talking about
Gang
are
आ
they
गई
gonna feel the pressure?
Indonesian.
Are they going to be
Indonesian street gang आ गई भाई.
feeling the love
Eagle
of the
gang.
fans? I think they will now.
Because of course we didn't have enough people screaming
Yeah.
earlier when Alter Ego were here. We needed more
क्या
people.
हथियार लेके आ रहे हैं?
They got the memo. They got
In terms of Alter Ego, tell me, guys, show match, Zolos, is that something that you think a player, especially someone that is so focused in towards, getting started, but you can't really because you have so much
ये
mana,
क्या
is that
hype
something
हुए
that
होंगे
you
भाई
think
अपनी country के
will
लोग
disrupt
आते हैं.
their state of flow to some degree?
No.
They want to start getting into the matches. Do you think that show match is not going to bother them at all?
Nah,
this
is just fun.
I think this is just to get the 4 fingers of Paraboy heated up. It's like, okay, now I'm feeling in a vibes like a mini TDM, well, a pretty big TDM.
Yeah, I think they're just going to be all having fun. And for my prediction, I think it's whoever ends up being blessed with the circle at the end.
You know what? Circles could be pretty important in PUBG Mobile in general. But yeah, I mean, it's just going to be, as we said, a fun game mode, right? And it's just going to set maybe a few expectations for teams that are looking already hot.
I do hope if we end up with the 1v1 at the end, I want to see it pan off, okay?
Wait a minute. You didn't give your prediction.
I did?
Who was it? I forgot.
Whoever gets blitzed by the circle.
That's
Well, that's a pro one.
I'll tell you after the game.
ये तो है.
What? No, you got... Okay.
I can tell you mine, though.
Oh, yeah.
I am going for the
Carlo.
absolute goat that I was so scared to approach to take a photo, which is Paraboy. I'm just going to say it like that. I'm one of these Paraboy Instagram fan page scrolling guys.
Nah.
I literally am.
That's a
And,
cop-out answer.
I am.
That's too easy.
I know it's too easy, but I'll just go for it anyways because, if no one else doing it, then I will.
क्या orange pant
The
है?
Alpha 7
So
people.
much is
They're
very
sitting
soon
down,
starting.
giving
We
some
saw an
support.
army approaching the audience, and that army has just arrived to support their favorite teams. It might be Alter Ego. I do believe most of them were here for Alter Ego. And with that being said, we are very soon going over to the casters. With us today is none other than John Allen and the potentially most fashionable man in esports. Take it away, boys.
Thank you very much.
It's me, Blank.
It's Blank. That's who it is who's with me today. We are so excited to kick things off here for the PMGC with the show match. 1 versus 1's going to be happening towards the end of it, but there's so much more to get through before that as well.
At least 64 1v1s could be happening right now. Well,
32?
32?
I don't know.
I would say 32, you know. But it could happen. Well, let's not go into numbers here because it's going to get very confusing very quickly. We'll start having to multiplying on top of each other. We don't want to do that right now, do we? So we're going into our 1v1s here. This is our show match to start the day off. This is going to be a quick one, but this could be a really good place to cement yourselves as one of those players that you want to watch out for in the lobby, because I do think we have some hot contenders that looked great yesterday. The crowd is very loud at the moment, which makes me extremely happy. I'm going to feed off that energy like a vampire and bring it straight to the stage here.
Oh, fantastic. I like it. I like it. We were looking at a couple of the players. They were talking about them over on the desk. We were sort of looking around. You know, my outside pick, I would say, for me, Kengzo. I'm looking for this guy. He was really, really strong for Buradam during their performance, during the group stages, during those parts of the tournament.
For sure.
In a solo capacity, I think he's got the legs.
I think he does as well. I think he really does bring up the absolute speed on that team. And I think you look at a player like Nenebete, he's very, very good, very fast, very slick with it, getting into position, but a lot of times that is a case of getting those end game points. It's not necessarily getting up towards that top side. Was definitely a really, really strong player over in that league stage. Maybe another player that I'm looking at is Stoned from VPE. Ooh. Really, really strong player from there. Individually, very good. On the other hand of things, I do worry about that player sometimes because he is extremely good at the game, but he has his dips now and then. But I think that this could easily be a position where he's able to take on top. There's your boy. If you don't know who he is, get to know, and I'm sure you will do soon, so I'm not going to spoil anything just yet. But his name ends with Yang and starts with James, so just wait and see.
I'm sure we'll be hearing a little bit more from him later on. But going into this 1 versus 1, I feel like default winner, Order. Unless someone pops off, Order wins, right?
Yeah, so I was saying the same thing, actually.
Right
at the beginning, I was saying, you know, Order was a really strong player coming through from Nova. It feels like a cop-out pick though, really. You know? I want to choose someone else just because, you know, although I just feel like we'll probably go to this one and smash out the park, there's definitely a chance here for something else to happen.
Well, let's go right into game number 1 with Arangel starting from a military plane all the way up to the northeast side. Kameshki for the plane path on this solo game. Now, if you have seen the map before, you will be familiar that there are normally team colours blank. None of those colours exist this time around. It is all 4-1.
It's a grey world out here today, and it's a little bit of a grim world as well, because you can go out real quickly. Other than the one yellow player that we do have on our screen, which should flit around a little bit. That's the one we're currently holding, following over on that map feed. But other than that little splash of colour, yeah, everyone's out to get one another during this lobby. Already we're getting players dropping down over towards Sosnovka.
इस बार सोनी ने स्पॉन्सर किया है क्या? हाँ, सोनी ने स्पॉन्सर तो किया है, बट मैं नेट पे पढ़ रहा था तो उन्होंने लिखा था कि OnePlus पे खेल रहे हैं, बट पता नहीं सोनी ने एक्सपीरिया तो सामने दिख रहा है.
I mean, there's
maybe
prize money
एक्सपीरिया में
online
खेल
for
रहे
this
हो.
game as well, right? You know, it's when friends can become enemies. It looks like a little bit of damage dealt there. Legend seemingly unfazed by the presence of a teammate, but there are shots being loose down the corridor, so potentially a bit of a scuffle here on the T2K drop down south. For the early doors, a nade pin being pulled. King moves forward, steps in their ears. No, it doesn't quite manage to get the nade through the door. It's unfortunate, won't do too much damage there. Legend upstairs now with a Vector. Close range, devastating weapon. Rig, Tommy gun, equally powerful in these scenarios, especially when you're lacking the armor. Molotov to reposition, but no eliminations just yet.
It's like T2K drawing this fight out just a little bit. Can certainly move. It's the first circle as well that we've seen in PMGC. Over towards that western side of the map. A lot of water in this one. Should start to shrink pretty quickly though. Over towards Quarry side, most likely. Could head up towards that north on Hospital. Just on that lower edge of Everest.
T2K की team
T2K not doing too much. It feels like I don't know how I feel about this, in fact.
Well, no one wants to go down first, right? I feel like even within the team it's going to cause bragging rights, but we're going to hop over to a different fight. This is Nova. I think this is with Federal from Influence Kemin. Playing around the side, AKM in hand, double barrel reload needing to come through for Order. Reposition. Auto shotgun as well in hand, suppressing these windows. And Federal just does not want to give this angle. Spots order, shot through the window, and default winner down.
No order.
I mean, Federal's the one to do it there. Coming through from his team, I mean, Federal really puts on a clinic over in his group. And Order just couldn't step to it. Quick peek around the window, straight on the headshot. Order didn't see it coming.
Rig around the sideline, spots the player, has to duck back in, sees him still there. Behind the box, not going to go for it, doesn't have the angle. Rig looks for a second, but the armor is super damaged right now. Will not matter, a single bullet, all it takes. The Vector pushes, but allows Rig to move out through the side, drops all the way down and around. Goodness me, he's acrobatic today with it. Rig back downstairs and into a little bit of safety. Don't think there's too many meds on board yet, though.
Rig there with the first aid kit, can get back up to 17. On the other hand, T2K's other player not looking so strong there. Does get the resupply on the third.
Solo match है ना?
Level
तो
3
जो भी
helmet there
जीतेगा
as well,
उसको मिलेंगे $3,000.
That's not going to see you too far with the amount of HP still on board. Alex from HC in Alamo currently. Looks down towards Kengzo from Buddha. So a lot of our big heavy hitters so far. Already taking a lot of damage. Order, I mean, out almost instantaneously. That's a Maxman curse for you.
That's right. That's what happens when Maxman turns his powerful gaze upon you. You do wither sometimes. Got to do a little bit stronger. There's Kengzo.
Yeah.
There's my pick going down. It's like it's really all to play for on this one.
Be an unsurprising pick coming through. Ring with the 1v3 there. Takes them all down, really well played, and now gets a very nice resupply. Only thing he's massively lacking at the moment is that medical supplies, but with the entirety of Sosnovka practically to himself, other than Alter Ego's Fnatic down towards that southwest side, it's pretty easy for him to pick up a nice amount of kit and get himself over towards that west side of the map.
Alex moving across the ground there in the open. Was pretty close to Kengzo, to be fair. We do call him that from time to time. He's got a lot of power. Power Boy now in a little bit of trouble against Lutz, pushing forwards with the Bison from the grass. Power Boy stays alive, and Nova still have one of their heavy hitters.
I mean, you say Nova has one of their heavy hitters. They're all
one of the four.
Pretty big batters.
One of the four heavy hitters.
One of the 4 heavy hitters, that's for sure. Potato coming against Alex from IHC, gets the DP out just a little bit more. Put it can't finish it off.
Alex, slick with it around the back of the buggy. Playing a little bit too spiky for the Alter Ego home turf player.
Fortunate stuff there. Just a few bullets had to zip through, maybe the window or the chassis itself, but Potato's out in the open, and Alex just had to bide his time. Quick peek, nice and easy. DRS rules easily done there. Vitaly's out and down. That's kind of DRS gameplay, though. You know, you sit in the top of a house and just wait for someone. They are quite campy as a team, honestly. But I mean, if it works, it works, right? They get to have marshmallows as well, so I can't complain.
That was a cracking pre-fire on that. I really enjoyed that as well. He's heard those steps coming through. He's like, well, he's going to run through the door right now, so I'll just start firing before he even has the angle. Very well orchestrated there. I feel like in these solo scenarios, the value of nades is going to go up vastly, Blank, because you're just going to be able to completely wipe someone out instantly. Remember, there's no knocks. You can't get rezzed because you are playing solo.
Yeah, it will be one of those cases of just complete unfortunate circumstance of nade comes your way, you had no idea the player knew your position in the meantime, you're done, it's out, Federal. Looking for some kind of cover there, but Becca from Inco to finish the job. Federal's actually moving out back again. Those nice little Peeper Bison buffs coming through.
I think it was the suppressor as well on their Mythic from Alpha 7. Sees, remember, crawling past the corner. There's the pin pulled. Remember, we'll hear that. Pushes up to the wall as well. Mythic now position known. Remember, hops out the back into the sidelines. Opens the door. Spots the ankle of Mythic, but doesn't manage to get one more bullet in that he needed. Mythic not really going to have the opportunity to heal just yet. Spots the player rotating on the outside, and Mythic's out up top. Wants to bank a nade off of the crates, but remember, not going to give him that chance from Wolf. Nade down the stairs, and it backs him off for now. The Chinese team want to keep their player alive, remember.
Oh, flashbang.
Flashbang around the edge, but Mythic stays tucked in. Wants to spot it with the DBS, doesn't manage to land that first ka-chunk, but the second.
is good. Remember falls. That's deep in the tummy as well. You're not recovering from that one. Surprised it took even just the one pump there. Probably half a pump would have done it.
Was that a nade both ways between?
I think it might have been.
And I didn't catch who else it was, but I think they just eliminated each other.
If it was Solke and Kelsey, then yes, because they were both rotating up on the top side of Stalber, and I don't see either of them anymore.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, you know it was. It was S2G and Fireflux coming up in the elimination feed. So that's unfortunate. Neither of them are going to get the chance to move further forwards. Revo, though, with his shot to take on Chaoski from Influence Kemen. Nades going back and forwards. 3 in the pocket for Revo. Only 2 for Chaoski as he launches another one over towards the tree. Do a lot of damage there, but Revo stays alive for the moment.
Revo been absolutely killer over on Alpha 7.
अबे भाई ले गया Sexy तो नेड बरसा दिया भाई नेड बराबर उठाए भाई इन लोगों ने.
In the pocket, kept sending them through. The job was done pretty easily off the back of that. IHC, there were a couple of players over on that western side, but as the circle shifts hard down towards that west. So on the coastal side, a lot of cover to be had, a lot of areas to be played. The yellows down on that west side as well on the road. That could be a nice place to pick up, but again, these are very shareable spots here.
नेट उठा लो भाई किसी ने BRDM मंगा लेना उसके बढ़िया है भाई किसी को फ्लेयर मिल गई उसने BRDM मंगा ली.
Of T2K who won out that scrap on the south will no longer have a member in action. They can turn their focus to the main tournament and watch the rest of this lovely show match.
Action takes shots up towards Silas. Cannot quite get the job done though. Silas thinks to himself to maybe try and pick off some more players. Nova still running, I think, with 3 at this point in time, with Order being the only one to fall so far. 4 AM with 2 players up towards shooting range, and that box compound, that's MW. As well as one more. Influence Kevin Karowski, little boy took out Law earlier, so 2 players still going from Influence Kevin. Very strong players there.
Action.
ऐसा बाहर के बहुत सारे मैचेस होते हैं ना.
Very powerful himself.
Public showdown के लिए, लेकिन उनमें होती है.
Boy there, close to one of the geeks. Launches the nade. I feel like they know of each other's presence here. Damn rude. Wants to put a nade over. 5 nades as well. I feel like the players have kind of sensed the value of these nades go up in this solo scenario.
Yeah, it's the 1-2 punch, right? I mean, this is the meta getting instantly defined as we go on. This is more of a case of getting those nades. It comes later on in the game. You're able to get those bits of equipment much easier as you're able to journey through.
Oh, nice action,
we'll
bro.
Take down Mythic.
Action कहाँ छोड़ रहा है
building, buddy.
Shotguns both ways on that engagement. Mythic not given the space, not given that breathing room. Rules on the buggy now. Pushes the players from Alter Ego back, or the player, singular. Yuhai, close to King. King spots him first, gets the drop on him, but Yuhai ducks back behind the cover, steps up for a challenge, but King finishes it off.
Yuhai को ले गया भाई.
King from Nova, we used to call this guy the King Cobra because he was one of the ultimate snakes from Nova, able to do some really good work towards that end game to pick themselves up some additional points towards that top 15, so it's very, very nice for them. It's cool to see him still hanging around with the boys, doing good work here over in the solos. I mean, it's such a big organization at this point in time for Nova. I think it's over $6 million currently earned in prize winnings. They can just afford to keep these players on and grab all the coaches and analysts they need to maybe show up some of those mistakes.
So high value on infrastructure moving into the future of PUBG Mobile esports, definitely worth investing in, and the value of that will be shown. Alter Ego finding another elimination over onto one more of the geeks. Ponbit moving through as well, northeast side of the next circle. As things start to get a little bit more tight and packed on that west coast.
लेकिन British थोड़ी सी वो लगती है ना,
अगर थोड़ी together here. I said we see that splashy yellow.
Professionals में लगती है, जो American होती है वो ना थोड़ी वैसी लगती है कि वो मस्ती में बोलते हैं. ये लोग वो professionally बोलते हैं, वो लोग बहुत मस्ती में बोलते हैं.
Svan to a Paraboy, Scry, still quite far outside of the circle. Razy, in fact, up towards the north side of Rozok, so a long way for this guy to go. Good Xiao from 4 AM, still making his way down from North George. We'll have to pass through Ravenclaw. Well, there's one of a player from 4 AM.
Right now, we could quite easily say that Buduram, my name P, got a good spot. This guy really did put some good work in over in the group stage. He made it look good. I think a lot of people focus on Kengzo, but you cannot forget about this guy.
Silas getting shots popped off his way.
Noah से King बचा हुआ है शायद से. Jimmy बचा हुआ है. Bera बचा हुआ है.
Trades on these hillsides.
Bera वो
You can't really trade at all. Peaks are going to be few and far between. Unless you can isolate one of those angles like Jimmy's managed to find over towards one of the 4 AM players. WWX laid broad, actually steps in front of the tree, ducks back behind. I think he spotted Jimmy there. Rules, sees up the hill, lays down a player. Not going to be able to find that elimination yet, though.
Jimmy just hiding away. Ravenclaw really good with these off angles. Unfortunately, he is sandwiched between Jimmy as well as MW from 4 AM. My name Pete. Silas drops a nade up top side, shuffles around just a little bit, and I would too, but maybe giving away the presence. It's a little bit too much noise.
Beautiful, over the top of the hill. Micah stays alive with it. The UMP manages to find the shots it was looking for, managed to land center of mass there. A low HP bar there, but it's healed it up very, very quickly, and a resupply on the crate.
Really good stuff there from Micah.
इंडिया से कोई है क्या? नहीं इंडिया से बस वो मंगोलिया की टीम एसटी को गॉडलाइक ने स्पॉन्सर कर रखा है. आधी स्पॉन्सर जैसे पहले वो थी ना टीएसएम एंटिटी, टीएसएम ने एंटिटी को स्पॉन्सर कर रखा था, वैसे ही एसटी को गॉडलाइक ने फिलहाल स्पॉन्सर कर रखा है.
Made something very special out of Geek Fam from Malaysia. Looking to go a little bit further here in the PMGC.
होगा वो पता नहीं कितने टाइम का है, बट अभी फिलहाल
गॉडलाइक show match though. $3,000 still. Nice hefty chunk.
Hello चंदन भाई.
That's something I hadn't really thought about. Picked up there, I believe, was a Car 98.
कौन आगे चल रहा है? पहला मैच है ब्रो, शोडाउन चल रहा है. ये मस्ती का गेम है. सब सोलो खेल रहे हैं. जो जीतेगा $3,000
One shot and you're down and you're out. It's not even just those headshots that are gonna get a knock. Take some supplies away from the enemy team. That's just the full elimination right there, one and done.
ये चैट में देख थोड़ा ऊपर करेगा तो तेरे को अंकित दिखेगा, वो भी तेरा रोड का है. कल वो एकदम से चैट में आया.
Yeah, there's no knocks.
बोला मैं भी रामनगर से हूँ. मैंने कहाँ रामनगर से कैसे होते हैं? मैंने कह रहा है पहाड़ी यूट्यूबर पे. अच्छा मैं उसके साथ ही पढ़ा हूँ 10 तक.
Looking down towards Good Xiao, Jimmy, alongside one another now. So Good Xiao maybe in a more of a position to take this 1v1 with Jimmy.
नहीं जिमी ने जगह अच्छी ले रखी है, पूरा एज पे ले रखा है अभी.
Silas.
सबको लड़ने दो.
I think that's one other player there from Vampire Esports, Stoned. Player that I want to see do pretty well during this solos.
You did say that. And it looks like maybe what they were talking about over on the analyst desk is coming through. I feel like we're seeing more of the IGLs start to step up in this scenario. I mean, we still got players like Paraboy coming on through, but Jimmy in a phenomenal position on the north side of this and got so much control over this west coast.
Yeah, Jimmy's totally good to go at this point in time.
He's down में खेल रहा है, सही है, clear कर लिया है.
Control for himself. He's looking towards that northeastern side. Can cut off a lot of rotations as they come down. It's going to be difficult for Good Xiao to actually even try and can he pick off shots at him without alerting the presence towards Action, Delta, My Name P, Ravenclaw. So Jimmy's in a really good spot at the moment. Fortunately, he is on that edge side of the circle. That is going to make life a lot harder later on.
Uh-oh, Delta cut down in his prime as My Name P steps out from the top rope. Nicely found there. Demo from IHC into the shack on the north side of the next circle. Sailing straight on past. It's WWX from 4 Angry Men. Trying to find some cover, looking for a safe place. Unfortunately, not too many of them exist anymore. Jimmy spots his teammate Good Xiao and will be able to take that one down. WWX also fell by Ravenclaw.
It's me. It's all starting to pop off just a little bit now. 16 players left remaining. Schweppes moves up. Alter Ego still has a player in this one. Fnatic moved all the way down from Sosnovka military base. So this has been one hell of a run for him to get up towards this side. Schweppes down. That's DRS on the side, Rules there. Takes a cheeky shot towards him, and now Fnatic knows that there's players in the mix. Just had to send the vehicle in.
I don't think he knows that that player specifically went down. I mean, he probably heard the nade go off, so potentially is aware of that and takes the opportunity to get on into the vehicle, send a lot further central over the bubbles near the swamp. And Fnatic playing this ridgeline. Demo is there as well, a little bit further north. The central compound now starting to pack itself out, starting to fill up those locations. We'll get more and more hotly contested over time. Killer sprays over towards Demo, has to go for the reload. Spots him again. This time he tags it, has to leave the vehicle, has to leave the compound as well for Killer. Falls out the back.
Demo not in a great spot anymore, honestly. It's hard for him to get any kind of room to play with. Lockdown, 100% next circle about to pop on our screens. Heads up towards Jimmy, this is great. A great opportunity for him, actually. Opens up a real shot for him in this game. Stone equally on a bit of high ground down towards that southwest side. Just close enough for him to start to think about heading over towards action. It's going to be very difficult for Action to hold the entirety of that compound all by himself.
Jimmy खेल रहा है भाई. ये तो
Killer Smoke's keeping him safe from Jimmy right now. You've got to wonder how long that's going to last. And even if you do survive that, are you going to get away from the M249 Demos currently lugging around the battlefield? Catch a little bit further north on this as well, and a lot of open ground for these players to cover will be difficult. 14 remain.
Solus just keeping it relaxed, calm, down towards that south side. Heads to the vehicle now, might move up towards this loot crate. This gives a real good bit of a defilade to play behind. Stone might see him though. Opts instead to actually just send straight past. So this is up towards My Name P and Ravenclaw with S2G themselves. Rules really taking the DRS gameplay to the maximum actually. Keeps it nice and steady out on that outer edge.
Catch rolls forwards to the burnt out pickup. The truck providing a little bit of cover. Kayovsky actually spots the shots over towards the northeast side as well. Influence coming with their player on the east edge. Jimmy will have to move a little bit further south though. Doesn't want to give up control over Ketch's position. And you can see Ketch dropping out that smoke line to give him time to get up to speed, make it harder for Jimmy to land those sprays.
Yeah, Jimmy's going to struggle just a little bit to find Ketch, but Ketch knows he needs to move. Fully stims up. Sends out now.
Hello DL gamer, क्या हाल है भाई?
Stops just a little bit short. Respect that from him. Doesn't want to go too far. Just get that vehicle in. If he can maintain that cover a little bit longer, means he has that vehicle for the late game.
Spotted on the sidelines. Rules nearly takes down Fnatic, but it's only half HP. Kayovsky, in the meantime, can descend the hillside and take the challenge himself. DBS is in hands for both of these players, and a mid-range engagement sees that those bullets not doing too much, but finally, the final chunk lands, and Rules, the points taken away.
Unfortunate there for Alter Ego, but they get fairly far into this lobby. 12th place. Not too shabby at all. Kayovsky, though, just too good with it. There with the DBS at long range. Again, Silas, Ravenclaw, all just holding in this singular spot over on this side of the compound. Much more difficult, as we said earlier, to hold down towards where Action's currently playing, as there's so many points of ingress, so many places where you can start to attack that kind of compound. These areas, much more simple just to hold on to, keep players off the back of them.
Ketch makes the push ahead of Jimmy on the northern side. Gets through the coastline, but the vehicle will be taking pretty hefty damage right now. Stoned on that southwest side that you were talking about, Blank, being a powerful position, now has contest from Ketch.
Yeah, Ketch moves right up towards him. I think that for Stoned, he has all the information he needs. Does need to move up towards our eastern side, so now taking down Ketch becomes pretty high priority on the list of things for him. Sends a nade, but it's very wide here. But I think he's just going to blanket this hillside in them.
Would be wise. Just get that ordnance down range. Ketch tagged up now, so location a little bit more zeroed in on. Stoned doesn't need to utilize this final nade yet. He just needs to suppress this ridgeline. But Ketch has 4 to play with, and Stoned is in danger here. A little bit too far to the right to go for the full knock, but will do damage. 16 seconds remaining before the zone closes, and Stoned is right on the back of it. Will need to shift forwards, as will Jimmy on the northern side. Another nade from Ketch down the hill, and doesn't spot Stoned moving out wide, which means that he can probably deduce he's staying nice and tight to the blue. Rules. Shots over towards Kayovsky on the eastern side in the meantime.
7 smokes there for Stone, though, so could make his way out of this position, or just at least smokes Ketch off. That's a really smart play, actually. I like this one. Still having the vehicle in the back pocket. This is excellent work. Limits that sight line coming through from Ketch. Moves out the vehicle, tries to get a sneaky spot onto him, but it's even. Other players that are taking shots forced out this way by Stone. It might just be his doom.
Spraying and praying here for King. Not going to be able to tag it. Ketch into the buildings now and into the compound. Stoned moves up on the western edge, but will have to move over that ridge in the meantime. 1 minute and 50 seconds before the zone's fully down, but Action now has a challenge. Will not be able to stand up to it. And Ketch has been rolling through, finding these openings somehow, some way, and making it work. Jimmy now up to battle. Stoned not going to have control of the ridgeline just yet. Jimmy's super low, goes for the rundown, but Stoned takes him out of the mix.
That's an aggressive play as well. Moves right up to it towards the bumper to get a better look at the registration plate before popping Jimmy out the front there. Silas, pretty obvious where he's playing. Well, look at that vehicle at least. Ravenclaw from Vampire also still over in this area.
Manish ka likh raha
has not moved.
Boys who respect girls are mostly single. Hello Chandra.
Rules did know that
सबसे
Koyovsky
तगड़ा
was
है
there
भाई
a little
देख
bit
ऐसा है
earlier,
कि
so we'll have a lot
नोवा
of
खेल रही
information to be
है
playing
नोवा
with.
पिछले
Won't
2
see
साल से
Koyovsky
लगातार
moving
जीत रही है
forward.
अभी तक
We'll know
कोई
pretty
हरा
much
नहीं पाया
exactly
उन्हें
where
2
the
साल से
player
लगातार
is.
जीत रही है ठीक है
Tricky for Koyovsky to
अल्फा 7 है
win this
अच्छी
one
टीम है
out,
अल्फा
I
7
would
जीत
say.
सकती है 4AM है अच्छी टीम है
Lot of difficult
वैम्पायर
terrain
भी
ahead
अच्छी
of
है
him. This
मतलब अभी
compound
टॉप
has been
16 टीम है
such
सारी
a
अच्छी
bastion for the
हैं
players who've
बट
been
जिनके
inside.
प्रोबेबिलिटी ज़्यादा है गीक अच्छी
Yeah,
है
they've
गीक
been
में UI है UI
They've
बहुत
been
तगड़ा टीम
struggling if
सिचुएशन
you're on that
खेलता है
edge
बहुत
side.
अच्छी प्लेयर है
About to work your way in.
बहुत
I think
सारी
Stone's
टीम्स
done
है
a good job to kind of send people away from this position.
अच्छी टीम है
It's less about taking down Ketch,
मंगोलिया
but
की
more about making sure
नेपाल
you
से
put
गई है
the hold down
DRS
towards this beach
DRS भी
side.
अच्छा खेलती है
Saw how that went for him.
कुछ नहीं
Ketch
कह
put in
सकते
some
सही
very
बात है
dangerous
अभी पता चलेगा
situations.
पहले दिन के स्टैट्स से पता
Fortunately for
चलेगा
anyone that can hem up
4AM
against
पे
Ketch, they got to find
4AM
out
भी
the
तगड़ी
hard
टीम
way
है
just
ब्रो
how clutch this man is when it comes to these really tight
और
moments.
लाइक करो भाई
Able to
सभी
get
लोग
out of
जो
them
देख रहे हैं
pretty sneakily. Does have that get out of jail free card a lot of times.
हाँ आज तो पहला दिन है 3 दिन चलेगा कल परसों
Stone in the buildings on the western side, right on the edge. Next circle will dictate a lot of the pace, I would say, of this next phase.
9 लोग बचे हुए
North or south, or is it going to go away from the compounds entirely? Really going to have to choose it carefully. And instead, it's fairly dead center there, Blaine.
That is
ये
fairly
तो
dead
सोलो चल
center.
रहा है ये तो ऐसे ही 3,000 रुपए के लिए चल रहा है 3,000 रुपए के लिए बोल रहा हूँ $3,000 के लिए भाई
And I would agree. You get these kind of yellows, you get these positions. My name P, Silas, Ravenclaw from about, let's say, 2 circles ago, were kind of destined to be at this point in the game so far through. And my name P, trying to send these nades over towards Ravenclaw. Hard to thread this one, but if it does, Ravenclaw's going to be careful.
अच्छा इस वाले का पूछ रहा है भाई कोई भी जीत सकता है ऐसा कोई वो नहीं है दे अभी सर्कल के अंदर ये बैठा हुआ है एक बंदा पीरियड वाला कौन है ये वैम्प अच्छी जगह पे बैठा हुआ है
Is it trying to thread this through?
2 more nades in the back pocket. Did that go through? Oh no, it just bounced off there. I thought that one had managed to post, but
कोई भी ले सकता है भाई
Stone
ये अभी सोलो का चल रहा है
another move to make. Drops a smoke on the corner.
अभी का
Isolating the sightlines from the northern side of the compound.
VP
Pops
के
in the
लेकिन अलग-अलग
vehicle and
खेले
wants
ना
to roll
सभी
forwards quickly. I mean, will probably be very valuable there. Players to worry about. Silas ready and waiting. Right on this door frame with a micro Uzi and challenge.
उसे किसी और ने कवर दे दिया भाई
Stone DBS are on the edge, but they're not landing finally. Able to get the shots in, and Stone now has more to worry about. The players to his south left in the dust, and Stone has been moving through really effectively. Naded through the window from my name P, and he will find out just how noisy the neighbors can be.
Molotov tries to send it through in towards the smoke to trick Stone, maybe walking out in towards it to get away from another nade. Stone is now in a pretty difficult position, though he does have a lot of stims to play around with. Get himself back up to full HP. That is just one of those engagements where, yes, both DBSs aren't hitting, but again, it's more about dodging the DBS and whatever gets the work done in the end is what's necessary.
Was spotted as well in the grass, but had to win out that trade. My name P doesn't want the shots this time.
Yeah. I said DRS a little bit campy, but now they've gone full on feral. They've gone right into the wilderness, taking it to the enemy team, just hiding in the old bushes,
Manish sexy bro
in the trees, taking the shots where they can, laying those traps. And Koyovsky, he rocked right into one. Almost became Bugs Bunny there for a second.
What's up though? 2 players from Fireflux playing close to each other. Ketch and Solus. Ketch has been a little bit more of a star in this game so far. If Solus can ruin his teammates' day, ruin the chance of that 3K.
Yeah, right now Vampire have the best chance
हाथ वाले तीर और मारो। खतरनाक कवर मिला, वही भाई अपना सबको पोजीशन पता चल रही है क्या जैसे हमें दिख रहा है। और मतलब सबके अब एक एक बंदे पे एम रखा ही रखा रहता है ना कि भैया ये यहाँ लेके बैठा हुआ है तो इसको तो धर लेंगे।
Let me tell you something. It's me. It's me, your brother. But we are friends. No, don't do it.
इतनी भी तारीफ मत करो यार।
The fury. He's not seeing straight.
नहीं भाई यार, सबके
efforts
पे तारीफ होनी चाहिए।
He just sees
Thank you यार मनीष,
thank you bro. Ground. Soulless.
ये
already
ले गया भाई।
soul. To be honest, probably best if he wasn't a grave at this point in time. Thinks Ketch.
Ketch has the DBS on the corner, but Soulless just swings for him. Instantly hits the deck. 5 players now remaining blank. My Name P, hiding out the building for so long successfully. Vampire with the main number of players. 2 still alive. You're talking about their chances there. Rules has to make this cross now, and My Name P shuts the door. Doesn't want to remain exposed for too long. Looks like Ravenclaw might be out of meds as well.
Yeah, remain in this area, and this is the problem with sticking in one spot for too long, is that you just do not get the respawns you need.
अरे भाई sexy bro. Thank you यार.
Catch. I mean, you don't have a soul. None of easy take down.
तेरा नाम कहीं वो तो नहीं है? Santa.
My Name P.
Santa Claus.
The UMP realizes that he needs to move a little bit further out. I've got to say that this PMGC skin is absolutely gorgeous this year. Definitely on the Buddha. Put it that way.
Well, My Name P on that Buddha height.
क्या दिया bro? अरे इसने banner बना के दिया sexy sex.
Right now, 4 players remaining. 2 of them from Vampire. Fireflux, Soulless, Buddha My Name P. Trying to stick it out. Stoned seems to have the bead on My Name P. Hits the deck for the drop shot, but the nade doesn't land either. And in comes the push as well. Ankle sweeper, maybe. Has to swap the weapons.
Yeah,
what is going on? Stoned just doesn't spot him, I suppose, through the smoke. It's difficult to see. A sliver of HP keeps him alive, but the DBS around the corner gives him a shout in the fight. But no, My Name P finally up and into the action. Will take down one of the Vampire players. Now it's 1 versus 1 versus 1. Ravenclaw the last for Vampire.
It looked like the shimmy DBS
was not
working out that time, just from side to side. Looked like he was trying to go for the do-si-do, but that does not bring the dough home in that 3K. Fireflux looking to take it all the way here with Soulless, looking mighty strong in a decent position on the edge.
This is the final zone.
Will continue to move in. Ravenclaw. Oh, he's left this med kit to the last moment. The surprises as he runs out. Looks towards My Name P, looking for that revenge.
Deal bro, thank you so much yaar bhai.
Now, no utility left at all for My Name P. No backpack either. Gonna go bear into this one. Soulless spots Ravenclaw crawling up, sees him hit the deck, and there's no way Ravenclaw gets away from this one. Center of the circle needs to be occupied now, and My Name P will be able to do so. Put it down with their chance here. Soulless as well. Up the top row. Right on the edge of the blue zone, and My Name P is just moving in with this circle. Soulless waiting, knows exactly where the player's going to be coming from. And waiting for this crawl forwards. All it's going to take is 1 mag on either side. Soulless breaks out wide, takes the initiative this time, plays on the rock, very, very central now. My Name P, no nades for Soulless either. Armor looking fine for this 1v1, and now up he goes, Soulless for the challenge! Took down his teammate.
Sexy.
I mean, that's absolutely what you want to see. We heard what Soulcase said. You don't mess with fire, even if you're on the own team there. And Fireflux will take home the first show match there with Soulless taking back 3K. Happy days for them. But honestly, we kind of saw some of the big teams that we expected to see towards those 1v1 top positions. It was kind of weird for me. I thought that, you know, this would be all topsy-turvy. But no, we did see some of the teams that everyone talked about, the guys on the desk talked about, they were towards the top. Maybe not Max, because he talked about order and he went down almost instantaneously. But that's just life. That's how these things happen.
वो तो डिपेंड करता है, ये तो सोलो मिलेगा.
That's true as well.
ये टीम को नहीं मिलेगा, ये सोलो प्लेयर को मिलेगा. अब वो टीम की पॉलिसीज के ऊपर है कि क्या होता डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का हो, बट ये जाता टीम सोलो प्लेयर को जाता.
Maybe they were more concerned about preparing.
कौन ले गया Soulless?
Maybe. But if you put it around, you're My Name P. You try and take it all the way, but if you Fireflux, they came here to play, man. They came here to play, they came here to win, they'll take the show match and everything else. We'll see if they can get it done.
Yeah, hopefully they can.
Whoa.
Yeah, fans हल्ला कर रहे हैं पीछे से, लैंड की यही तो बात है.
We're going into this game thinking, you know, who's going to have that power. I feel like it was a very, very different type of scenario to what we're going to be seeing for the rest of the day. It's a really good little amuse-bouche, as Max would say, for the rest of the day. You would say that, Max is giving me the thumbs up. You would say that is in fact a word, and well, 2 words that he would say.
Okay, what does it mean? Because you've not given any context here.
Amuse-bouche. It's like an hors d'oeuvre.
Max is doing this,
right?
So
it's like an hors d'oeuvre.
It's
an hors d'oeuvre. I'm saying French words to explain French words.
Good. You are. That's very unhelpful.
Take a look at that flag flying across the top of the crowd there. Pride for Indo coming on through. Lovely to see.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was people trying to escape the flag at first, but then I realized that
they
were carrying it across. I thought they were just like capturing people. But no, that is a beautiful Indonesian flag. Happy days, good stuff. Honestly, when the army came in for Alter Ego, I was very proud. I mean, they picked their moment too. They were like, "Oh, you think everyone's in? No, we still have the big amount of support to bring."
There certainly is plenty of support, not only for the Indonesian teams, but for a lot of the other teams as well. But it is their home turf, and you've got to love it. You've got to love that show of pride. As they gather the flag up, they dragged it all the way across that section of seats. Maybe other audience members will have their turn in a bit. We'll have to wait and see. Hang on a minute. Are they going back?
I'd like a turn. I'm quite cold, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is a little bit chilly. We're up in an air-conditioned area.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Alex gets
Indonesia
I get the goosebumps because I'm cold. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe I wasn't nervous. But we're going to head to an interview over on the stage desk with Barney.
Yeah, ये जीता. Obis.
Sensational. We are joined on the main stage by Solus and $5. Congratulations for taking home that victory for the show match. I have to ask you, with regards to the rest of the matches today, has that boosted your confidence?
उसे समझ नहीं आ रहा. English नहीं आती उसे.
Bu maç senin performansını ve özgüvenini yükseltti mi? Ne düşünüyorsun?
Asıl maçlardan önce şov maçları tabii ki de performansımı büyük ölçüde etkiledi. Bundan sonraki maçlara büyük katkıda bulunacağını düşünüyorum bu oynadığım maçın.
Of course, this match definitely boost my confidence. I hope that it will.
उसने पता नहीं क्या बोला ये कह रही चलो बोल देती हूँ जो politically correct लगता है बोल देती हूँ.
Oh, oke. Ini dia teman-teman semuanya, Solus dari Fireflux yang sudah memenangkan solo match barusan, yang dimana sudah menyampaikan kalau memang solo match barusan ini membuat tingkat kepercayaan diri dari Solus ini meningkat dan pastinya sudah bisa memberikan performance yang terbaik dan pastinya Solus sendiri senang sekali akan hal tersebut.
अबे इतना तो बोली भी नहीं हो. क्या बोली? ये कह रही है क्या तुम्हारी बुंड में कीड़ा है? मेरी बुंड में कीड़ा तो नहीं लेकिन मेरे टूथपेस्ट में नमक जरूर है. क्या आपको चखना है?
Öncelikle birinci tehdit kendi takım oyuncum Catch. İkinci tehdit de Order.
अरे क्या माँ चोरी पड़ी है? क्या बकचोदी कर रहे हो तुम लोग? वो औरत बोल रही है. अरे हाँ सही कह रहा है ये. अरे भैया क्या बकचोदी है? क्या बकचोदी फैला रहे हो?
Oke, jadi Order
अब चाइनीज वाली आ गई भाई.
चाइनीज
वाली कह रही है अरे
इन सब की माँ का. adalah salah satu dua sebenarnya untuk kali ini player yang agak ngeribetin sih di match barusan.
क्या ही बताऊं.
You have your first match of the grand finals. Okay, I just want you to let us know, let everyone here in this arena know, and everyone at home, what is your team's biggest strength going into today?
क्या है बस हाथ मले तीर और मार बहन के लोड़ों की गांड पे. तुम्हारी टीम की सबसे बड़ी स्ट्रेंथ क्या है? कह रहे हमने बाहुबली देखी है और हमने उसे सीखा है कि हाथ मले तीर और मार बहन के लोड़ों की गांड पे.
Hem oyun dışı olsun, sürekli birlik içinde olmamız ve
वो चाइनीज में बोल के बताएगी ये सब.
Our biggest advantages actually we're the big family and we're always together and always support each other.
Oh, oke. Jadi sebenarnya kekuatan terbesar dari tim FF ini atau Fireflux ini sendiri adalah kekeluargaan mereka karena mereka suka bareng-bareng. Ya sama lah ya kayak kita. Indonesia juga kekeluarganya kental banget gitu.
Well, Solus, thank you so much for joining us here on the main stage for your post-match interview, and best of luck in the rest of the day to you and to your team. Thank you so much.
सही बात है भाई.
Thank you very much. Ooh, I love
सही
their
बात है भाई, मैं भी
energy,
दे देता।
Banks, and that sure was a great
मैं भी दे देता।
match, wasn't it, Banks?
It really was. Donna, you know what? That match and that performance has set the bar for the skill level that we are all going to expect now for the rest of the tournament. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the main stage the Vice Secretary General of Indonesian Esports Federation, Dr. IGM Kartikajaya, SEMMMA.
Guys, we're back, in case we really are. Thank you so much to, well, Banks and Donna Vizca for that beautiful interview. And if that isn't a storyline that we almost kind of touched on, because Solis, he took down Ketched just before entering the top 5, and then he took it home as well. Now, that is something they obviously now hindsight probably are celebrating, but it could have gone differently, you know?
I did like what John and Black were saying during their game too, is like, you know, trying to make signals, almost smoke signals with the smoke. It's like, it's me, you're shooting it out right now, but it's just good fun, and it seemed like they were just having some fun after the game, and man, it's just like, no, just a little bit of an avant-bouche, we can also say that works too, guys, before these first matches, and it's been a good start to the day.
Stop saying all these French words. There's only one French word I know, and I cannot say it, Max.
Definitely don't want to.
I do want to touch on something as well. That was really interesting, because we had 2 Vampire players in the top 4, and none of them made it into the top 2. Look, both went out almost immediately afterwards, which is quite the bummer, I can imagine.
Yeah. With that, let me take on that real quick. You pointed it out, too. When there was a Final 4, there was one player that just wasn't moving. He was just waiting patiently, and that was Ravenclaw. And he decided to, I think we heard Blank say it too, that he decided until the last minute to just get that last heal. I wish he would have rotated a little bit early, but at the end of the day, it is a show match.
And I do have to say, one player that really impressed us, despite not taking the win in that game, it was Rules.
Yes.
From DRS. He had, what, like 6 eliminations?
6 eliminations.
And he's been constantly like moving about, playing different ridge lines, third-partying a few fights here and there. It's not easy in that kind of situation. If you were a player that was on the East, you're dead.
yeah, he was playing the blue zone. He was kind of just moving along with it, and it ended up working out for him. 6 elims. That's a great way to start the day.
I do have to say, there was one frag where I was particularly impressed, because he had to cross the street on towards the compound that we saw in the end, and he was on the east side of it. And he took, I don't know who it was, but he took one of the players down that was having a car and like a smoke in order to cover himself from the compound, and that was the most important fact, the one I was most impressed with, because it was a really hard aim fight to take. And he actually made it work. That was the point where I thought, okay, this play could actually, you know, gain him some actual confidence in terms of bringing that energy over into PMGC final games.
Yeah, ultimately he just wasn't blessed by the sun.
Yeah, he wasn't.
I like you made like said the most basic like call out stuff. I think the circle's going to be pretty important, and
I didn't say that.
I'm just making fun.
Just like you didn't pick order either. I got you, baby. Who was it that you picked?
I picked Kenzo.
That's who I thought. Okay, so that means you're not cursing people right away. Nice.
He did.
Who did?
Yes, I actually did. I actually kind of did. I picked Paraboy. Yeah, let's not talk about that. Actually, I explained I think King was in really late.
Yeah.
And Jimmy had a pretty good position as well. I actually expected them to do way better.
I can actually give you my pick, since it is after the game. Do you want to take a guess?
I don't know.
It's not who you think it is.
Who is it?
I actually had Revo from Alpha 7.
When did you?
I had an actual
chance.
I wasn't just waiting to see who was gonna win. I was like, let's see how he does.
I want my respect for you just a little bit higher, just a tad. Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting things. He was saying in the interview, I do have to come back to Solis to some degree, because I thought that was really interesting. I mean, you know, Banks asked him straight away. He pinpointed that question pretty directly. He said, "Is that going to give you confidence in terms of going into the next games?" And we were talking earlier if that game is even going to be played seriously to some degree. Do they actually care in terms of are they still inside the next games in terms of what are they focusing on? And I felt like Solis. I felt like he was focused on that game.
Yeah.
And something like that, even though he didn't have the most amount of kills. I think Rules, maybe, in terms of confidence, he's got kind of, bigger confidence. But I do think that is going to make a difference.
I think it's almost set the tone in terms of micro. Yeah,
उसकी कितनी जल रही होगी
अरे
भैंस आँख साला इतना लेटा इतना घिसा है अंकल फिर भी मर गया आखिरी में.
This is the kind of like level we're going to be expecting if we're taking 1v1 scenarios and such. So yeah, it's a good little start. And Solis, I mean, he was looking like really just. I was like, oh man, this guy's got presence on the stage right now, and he did great in that first game.
in a way, the thing that they might have taken very serious was those 1v1s when it came down to it, right? They are going to be able to get that information. If for some reason we do end up seeing some of those 1v1s, they're going to just reflect a little bit more on this show match. Even though it was a show match, they didn't want to die. They didn't want to get eliminated, so they're going to be like, okay, earlier I threw a smoke there and he decided to go a different way. Earlier I threw a molly there and he reacted this certain way. So who knows? Maybe it'll come to play, but I really doubted that a lot of the players were taking it serious.
No, I don't. Yeah,
just
maybe not like 100% series, not like a PMGC grand final kind of series.
नहीं grand final से तो serious नहीं ले रहे होंगे, but
well, while we're already on the topic of Fireflux, because I was when I met them, I was tapping on some guy's shoulder. I'm here, and I was saying him PMGC. I was tapping his one because at that point I was still very much sure that Fireflux had one of the best chances.
कोशिश तो देते हैं अपने जीत जाएंगे तो बढ़िया है ऐसा तो कोई नहीं होगा कि बिल्कुल ही
now that tournament they weren't exactly super strong, but either way.
सब लोग अपने hot drop पे कूदे.
That particular team, how do you rate that chances? Let's just break it down, right? Fireflux, what are their chances for you and for you?
I would say there's a very big chance they'll be in the top 5. Like looking at how this year's been going so far for like Turkey as a whole. Oh, you think that's too much?
Okay,
come on.
Yeah, keep going.
I'm saying out. We got Turkish casters right next door. I do not want to get in trouble. But I think top 5 is. No, you don't think so?
Now that you say that, I might have to change.
Your top 3 is all Brazilian teams. I get it. Okay.
No, it's
Give
not.
chances
It's
to
not.
other regions, 7.
It's
Please.
not. I see like a top 7.
I wonder why. Wow, what a weird number.
Not because of that. I feel like they can possibly get to that top 5, but I don't know. I'm just not sold on it. That's the main thing. I'm not just sold on it. We have seen them being able to clutch up in certain instances. We have seen them being able to do certain things differently, right? We're talking about the clutch factor as we see the fans getting super hype in the back. But I'm just not sold on a top 5 situation.
लेकिन इन लोगों को ना रूम थोड़ा वो देना चाहिए था भाई.
Straight on complaints, but
and they're agreeing with me.
The thing is, S2G can make it happen to you. They've already been having players that can play at this stage. So you know, Turkey once again, a strong region, could be potentially trying to take it away from Nova Esports.
See, I have S2G actually on top 5.
Oh really?
So what's it with you in SCG then? Because you said Calcy, he impressed you so much throughout not only PMGC, but throughout the whole year. Is that something you would maybe put in front of Fireflux right now?
I do think S2G could make it to the thing is I think only one. Which one is it going to be? I have no idea as of right now, but I do think Turkey has what it takes to have at least one of the teams to make it in the top 5. A win could be possible too, but the thing is, they are a team that if they are on a good day, high up there, they can get like 3 wins in a row. It could happen, but they need to be in that top tier performance.
This is your only chance today. You can change your pick for that top 5 for the Turkish team. Would you want it to be S2G or would you want it to be Fireflux?
Because you're going for S2G.
Don't factor mine. It's purely on you.
I commit to Fireflux.
Overlay में रात को लगाऊंगा bro. अभी थोड़ा वो अटक जाता है.
We got that competition.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Interesting.
मेरे को वो देखना पड़ेगा वो GIF कैसे मैं घुसेड़ूं उधर.
SCG now as well, but then again I have sympathies for it's hard because of the sympathies thing. They always play some part, some role into it. Don't tell me your sympathies don't play into your Brazil picks.
Yeah, they definitely do.
I was thinking about it.
I was thinking about something completely different. I was actually thinking about Jimmy, the way he played that show match. He was just like cool, calm, collected, just usual Jimmy on the beach. Yeah,
आज शाम को देखेंगे फिर ठीक है.
He was actually putting himself in great
आज शाम को देखेंगे PRAVO भाई. वो GIF ही है. पता है मुझे वो GIF अटकाने का देखना पड़ेगा ना मुझे.
But if we're going back to what you were saying earlier, if anybody taking it serious, you could tell that Jimmy was like, I really.
I mean, you said it right. IGL's good, no? Try and get himself in good positions, and I was impressed that IGL's made it that far. So you know what?
It was.
You were good on that call, and also the circle was important.
If it would have had at least a little bit of cover.
नहीं वहाँ पे फोटो अटकाने का आता है ना वो GIF कैसे अटकाऊंगा वो सोचना पड़ेगा वहाँ पे.
Very often, if we have that circle happen again during this tournament, you'll be like, oh wait, this happened. Maybe we can make things work a little bit. But yeah, good start, and man, the hype is just insane. I just can't wait.
It's
crazy. Game. It's.
I still have goosebumps. Like literally.
What do you say?
और सोचने दो और क्या देखना है.
Goosebumps. Did I actually say goosebumps? Oh my goodness.
I wonder if they gave that big flag over to Blank. He was cold. I think you need to give it to him.
Was he?
Did they give it to him? Oh, he's still cold over there. Someone give him a flag, please.
I love it. When we saw the drums coming in, that was like the icing on the cake. All the players coming in, all the audience members coming in, everyone's just trying to support that team. And then the drummers, and then the army. Oh, honestly, I'm just blown away. Touching, while we still have the time, touching on a topic while we're already at the topic, which is Nova. right? These guys, at this point, they must almost feel comfortable winning championships. Like it's not.
एंग्री मास्टर जी
Do you
देखोगे?
think that is an
देखा तुम लोगों ने
advantage, or
भुवन
you think
का?
they still feel like they have
ये
not
10
won a
मिनट का
championship
है।
at all when they enter this stage? What do you think their mindset is going to be? Because you were talking to PRAVO earlier. You probably know him to some degree personally as well.
मैंने
Is
नहीं
that
देखा
something
अभी
that
तक।
affects him?
They're friends, yeah.
They are.
This is bro. It works some.
हाँ लग तो जाता है, बट वो ना ऐसा होता है कि मैं डालता हूँ तो वो फोटो अटका देता है।
Anyways, what I was gonna say in regards to Noah is that I do feel like they come in with a chip on their shoulder every single time. They want to get the win. They kind of forget about that. It doesn't.
Let's see, देखते हैं कैसा है। मैंने भी नहीं देखा।
नया फोन लेने का सोच रहे हो? पुराना फोन कहाँ बेचोगे? तो चलो।
कैसे सर? खाना खा लिया? जी।
और वो जो बनियान सूखने डाली थी सूख गई?
बनियान कहाँ डाली सूखने?
ना छेद वाली बनियान।
नहीं छेद मेरे कच्चे, लेकिन आपको कैसे पता?
दाढ़ी कैसी लग रही है?
अच्छी लग रही है?
छू के बताना जब वक्त मिले।
अरे नेकी और मुझ मेरी। अरे क्या कर रहे हैं आप? आप ही ने तो बोला कि दाढ़ी छू के बताइए।
अरे फोन पे हूँ, फोन पे। मैं बाद में बात करता हूँ।
अरे वो दिखाई नहीं। ये दूसरा झुमका कहाँ गया?
मेरा कुत्ता निकल गया।
आपके पास कुत्ता है?
घर पे कुत्ता काफी नहीं था, बच्चों ने कहा एक और चाहिए।
कुछ भी खा जाता है।
ये वाले कान का ईयरफोन निकल गया। अब डेली बैठ के उसके हगने का इंतजार करता हूँ।
वो इंस्टाग्राम पे रीलें बनवाइए, उससे रोज हगेगा।
एक हफ्ते पहले मेरी बीवी की गिफ्ट की हुई चकाचक व्हाइट शर्ट खा गया। उसके बाद से धीरे धीरे 1-2 बटन हगे जा रहा है। परसों जाके कॉलर हगाए।
ओहो, फिर तो वो शर्ट कोई काम की नहीं होगी।
पहनी तो हुई है, नहीं पहनता तो बुरा मान जाती।
सफेद शर्ट थी सर, आपने अभी बोला, मेरे दिमाग में फिक्स हो गया।
अरे टट्टी का रंग मिक्स हो गया है। आओ बताओ। अरे जल्दी बोलो, 25 मिलियन लोग वेट कर रहे हैं। क्या चाय पत्ती नहीं है कैंटीन में? परसों स्कूल में पानी नहीं था, टीचर अपनी थूक से काम चला रहे थे।
नमस्ते सर।
आओ आओ आओ आओ। पिताजी पहले आ गए, बेटा बाद में आ रहा है।
यही तो कुदरत का नियम है।
ये भी आ गया।
हिलाया मिफ्तर पे, 2 महीने बाद बिफ्तर पे। मिफ्तर हिलाएंगे पिताजी, तभी तो होंगे बेटा जी।
अरे क्या मिस्टर बिस्तर लगा रखा है? कुछ कंठ गीला करने के लिए है?
किसको कंठ गीला करना है?
अरे कंठ ठट। तुम जाओ स्कूल से बाहर वाली जो टपरी है वहां से चाय लेके आओ और बोलना सर ने मंगवाई है। मेरा नाम नंद किशोर। बताओ रोज मिलता है, मेरा नाम ही नहीं पता। बबली नाम है मेरा। और तुम यहाँ कैसे? बंदर का नाच नहीं चल रहा है इधर?
क्यों आप डांस नहीं कर रहे? सर वो घर आया हुआ था कुछ लेने, तो मैंने बोला साथ चल ले।
वाह, सुबह सुबह क्या लेने आए थे?
एक सेकंड,
ये क्या है ये?
आपकी नाक मेरे काम में अड़ी हुई मिली। सर वो कैरम की गोटियां लेने आया था।
अच्छा रख ली थी गोटियां?
हाँ अंकल, सफेद वाली मिल गई थी।
और काली गोटियां कहाँ हैं?
मेरी पैंट में।
सर आपको नए साल की बहुत बधाई। किस बात की? नए साल की? हाँ तो बधाई किस बात की? कैलेंडर का पन्ना पलटा है बस, किस्मत वही है फुद्दू।
जो दिन रात मास्टर वेट करते हैं वही किस्मत बदलने का वेट करते हैं।
हाँ भाई, तुम आगे का क्या सोचा है? क्या करना है करियर का?
मेरा प्लान थोड़ा अलग है, हटके है।
अच्छा, कितना हटके है? रेगिस्तान में ऊँटों के दांत मांजने हैं या बुड्ढों के पोते सुलाने?
नहीं, बंदर के गोटे खुजाने। नहीं सर।
फिर बकवास बातों में पीएचडी करनी है, छिछली हरकतों में डिप्लोमा? नहीं, इसको नेता नहीं बनना, तू खुल के बता ना।
सर I want to become an actor. I want to become an actor.
एक्टर बनना है? हाँ। तो इटैलिक्स में क्यों बात कर रहे हो? सीधा सीधा बोलो। और ये ख्याल कैसे आया?
मेरा पढ़ाई में बिल्कुल मन नहीं लगता।
कैसे लगेगा? पूरा दिन इनके हाथ में हथियार होता है।
तू खुलेआम हिलाने लगा है क्या?
फोन की बात कर रहा हूं मैं। इंस्टाग्राम पे नए नए ट्रेंड दिखते रहते हैं। देश में क्या ट्रेंडिंग है ये नहीं मालूम, लेकिन इंस्टाग्राम के सारे ट्रेंड मुंह जबानी याद है। अभी कुछ हफ्ते पहले वो चल रहा था, नो नट नवंबर।
नो नट नवंबर? सुना क्या होता है? अक्टूबर की आखिरी रात को रंग दो बमाना, क्योंकि नवंबर से
नहीं हिलाना। ये देखिए, ये भविष्य है हमारे बच्चों का। ये पढ़ाई करने का टाइम नहीं है, लेकिन स्क्रीन टाइम घंटों के हिसाब से है। अरे हमारे जमाने में हम बाहर जाके खेलकूद करते थे, एक्टिविटीज करते थे, लेकिन ये इन्हें रील बनाने से फुर्सत ही नहीं है। अभी परसों एक बच्चा क्लास में डस्टर पे फोन टिका के, हाँ मैं बाजीगर, मैंने गर्दन पकड़ी, बोला पहले होमवर्क कर। और तो और टीचरें लगी हुई है स्टाफ रूम में, मेरा दिल ये पुकारे आजा। अरे बहन, वहां क्लास में बच्चे बुला रहे, वहां जा।
सर मैं रील्स देखता हूँ, लेकिन एक्टिंग और गिटार प्रैक्टिसिंग की।
अरे मैं दिन में 1 घंटा बांसुरी बजाता था।
किसकी?
अपने खुद की।
फ्लेक्सिबल है।
अरे इंस्ट्रूमेंट की बात हो रही है।
अरे ये सब छोड़िए, तू सर को बता ना तुझे नशा का कितना शौक है।
केड़ा नशा लग गई लत?
केड़ा नशा?
क्या फूकते हो? चरस, गांजा, डाइल्यूटर, वाइटनर, फिनाइल, पेट्रोल, डीजल। तमीज से बात करना मेरे बेटे के बारे में। अरे मैं तो ऐसे ही पूछ रहा था, क्या नशा करते हो बेटा? अरे नशा जो अंतरिक्ष में जाते हैं, नासा। हाँ हाँ नासा, इसको वो छोटे छेद का बहुत शौक है। मुझे भी। अच्छा ओजोन लेयर की बातें कर रहे हैं। अरे सर इसको बहुत शौक है अंतरिक्ष का। इसके लैपटॉप में देखा है मैंने वो जो फोल्डर है ग्लोरी होल और ब्लैक होल नाम का।
ग्लोरी होल और ब्लैक होल भाई कौन देख रहा हो? What the fuck यार ये हेड क्यों आ गया भाई?
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, गलत पढ़ा आपने। अरे ऐसे कैसे गलत पढ़ा, मुझे अच्छे से याद है। फेमस गजल नाम का फोल्डर है, उसके अंदर एक फोल्डर है फिशिंग नाम का। मछुआरों पे रिसर्च कर रहा है बेटा। फिशिंग होता है, स्पेलिंग गलत है, ठीक कर रही हो ठीक है। और तो और ये क्रिकेट एक्सपर्ट भी बन सकता है। वर्ल्ड कप हारने के गम में हमारी टीम की पावर प्ले बैटिंग पे रिसर्च कर डाली। वो क्या है फोल्डर का नाम? हाँ कम शॉट। कैसी बैकी बातें कर रहे हो यार। पता नहीं किसका लैपटॉप देख लिया। साइबर कैफे नहीं चलाता मैं, तेरी माँ, तू और मैं, हम 3 लोग रहते हैं घर में। किसका होगा लैपटॉप? आप 2 मिनट रुकिए। हाँ भाई तुम बताओ क्यों बनना एक्टर? सर मैं हमेशा से खुद को एक बड़े पर्दे पर देखना चाहता था। हाँ तो एक बड़ा पर्दा खरीद लो, टांग दो दीवार पे, उस पर अपना फोटो चिपकाओ, निहारते रहो खुद को। नहीं मतलब खुद को टीवी पे देखना चाहता था। हाँ ये चल रहा है आजकल देश में। बकवास बातें कर लो बेटा, अपने आप आ जाओगे टीवी पे। फिर आप क्यों नहीं आए अभी तक? क्योंकि मैं अध्यापक हूँ, शिक्षा देना मेरा काम है, टीवी पे आना नहीं। आनंद के साथ अपना जीवन बिताना चाहता हूँ मैं। आनंद के घर वाले मान जाएंगे? अरे तुम्हें बांध के क्यों नहीं रखते घर पे? और सर मुझे लगता है मैं फाड़ दूंगा पर्दा। नहीं एक्टिंग। और कोई वजह एक्टिंग की? पापाराजी। मैं तो राजी हूँ बेटा। नहीं पापाराजी जो फोटो लेते हैं। हाँ देखा है मैंने पापाराजी का इंटरनेट पे। ये लोग वही है ना जो औरतों को पीछे से रिकॉर्ड करते हैं और पूछते हैं।
ओहो ये नहीं चल पाएगी भाई पूरी। ये पूरी नहीं चल। हो हो
This year, we are also making the changes to the rules to make improving more player experience. We will be transiting to 10-point system across all tournaments to make the games more exciting and competitive. In 2023, fans can see PUBG Mobile esports represented in 32 Southeast Asia games taking place in May in Cambodia, and the 19th Asian Games hosted in Hangzhou, China, starting in September. It's an honor to be recognized by 2 major sporting bodies. PUBG Mobile esports will once again hold 2 global tournaments in 2023. The PUBG Mobile World Invitational in Riyadh in July, and the PUBG Mobile Global Championship, which I am pleased to announce, will be starting in November, and the grand finals will be held in Turkey for the first time. Thank you to everyone for being tuned in, and we are so much excited about what is to come in 2023. So now let's get back to.
अबे ऐसा होता है ना, जैसे मैं डायरेक्ट चीजें चला रहा था ना, नहीं इन चीजों से वो नहीं होता भाई। तुम्हारे भाई को इन चीजों के बारे में पता है थोड़ा, तो मैं वैसे रिस्क लेता नहीं। पता है क्या होता है, ऐसा होता है अलग अलग चीज़ों के अलग अलग क्लेम्स होते हैं, ठीक है। उसका क्लेम है तो मैं डायरेक्ट उसकी वीडियोस ऐसे चला नहीं सकता, समझ रहा है? तो उसका क्लेम आया है और उसने अभी उसके यूज़र ने मना कर रखा है, स्ट्राइक नहीं दी है। स्ट्राइक देते हैं और मतलब स्ट्राइक बहुत वैसे लोग देते हैं यार। अब भुवन बाम खुद देखेगा और तब देगा स्ट्राइक, तो स्ट्राइक पड़ेगी। उसने अभी स्ट्राइक पे सेट नहीं कर रखा है, समझ रहा है? जैसे WWE वाले हो गए, मान ले अगर मैंने WWE की एक भी क्लिप चलाई यहाँ पे तो सीधे मेरे पे स्ट्राइक आएगी, वो सीधे स्ट्राइक मारेंगे, समझ रहा है? तो ये खाली वो है, ऐसा नहीं होता। तभी मैं थोड़ा देख के चलाता हूँ, ऐसे मुझे पता है कि किस थोड़ा सा मेरे को लग रहा था कि ये आ सकता है, बट कोई नहीं, होता है।
But Max and I were just dreaming about Americas versus Europe. It would be just such an amazing clash.
It will be rough to make it happen, but if it does happen, I would say that would be the best rivalry.
Yes.
Americas versus Europe, you just can't beat that.
Americas would
definitely
win. Americas would win.
Chill, boys, relax. तुम्हारे भाई की situation under control है।
It could become the new classic. It could become the new classic. Before we get into the matches, though, we want to quickly keep you updated on everything that is going on over the next 3 days. The schedule is as follows. Today, starting today, in just a couple of minutes, actually, we'll see the first game, and then 5 more. 6 matches today, 6 matches tomorrow, and another 6 matches on January.
Strike बहुत वैसे मिलती है जैसे यार।
Stay tuned. Remember to follow your socials. Remember to tune in live every single day until January 8th, because you will not.
भुवन बाम खुद देख के मेरे को स्ट्राइक दे सकता है।
Yeah, you're not disappointed. You'll just complete my sentence. That's perfect, actually. You will not be disappointed. We will be having the point system. What you just saw will be finished. So we will have the normal point system that we just saw throughout last year. 15, 12, 10 in the first 3 places, and obviously 1 additional point for eliminations.
Exactly, elimination is going to be pretty important going into it, but also we've got to keep in mind, Seven, this is going to be something that impacts it. The circle settings are the same as the league stage. No heal strat is going to happen here.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that, because I never liked when that happened, okay? It was always one of my less favorable things when we went to Sandhawk, so I'm glad that's not going to be the case, and we're seeing how those teams were able to qualify here. You can see the last chance. I mean, they had it the worst, but that's where 2 of the Brazilian teams came out of, and we're seeing IHC Esports there as well, DRS Gaming, and then when we go to the special invites, both Esports and
जैसे अभी मैं लाइव पे सिद्धू मूसेवाले की वीडियोस चलाऊंगा तो मेरे को क्लेम आ जाएगा, ऐसी स्क्रीन आ जाएगी फिर से।
Since they haven't really gotten a chance to really go up against these teams.
And there we have it. We will be starting off with Erangel. The competitive rotation will be as follows.
Yeah, of course, going to be starting things off with Erangel. Erangel followed up with Miramar, Sanhok, Erangel once again, Miramar, and then Erangel. 3 Erangels. If you can perform well on that Battlegrounds here, Seven, that is going to be your way to stand out on the rankings.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just hyped up because we saw Sanhok there, and also the crowd is getting me hyped up. We've been talking about it for a minute, too. But you mentioned it perfectly. I feel like this teams definitely need to narrow down their performances in Erangel when it comes out to the most. And if for some reason, something that we have seen happen over and over again, if they do start bad in those 2 first matches, which is Erangel and Miramar, I hope whatever team it is uses Sandhawk to kind of just bring it back. And we have seen teams do that before.
Exactly, and there's so many things to take into account, but also we're I think just a few minutes away now from jumping into our very first game. Thing is, it's a 3-day event. There are not many games that are going to be happening here. You're never going to be safe. Do not throw a game away. Every point is going to count here.
And there we have it. We have teams to watch from both of you guys. You already put them in there. Maxman has Nova, Godlike Stalwart, and Geek. Care to explain, Max?
I mean, Stalwart makes sense, Nova makes sense too, but also Geek Fam, once again, I think one of the biggest surprises in how dominant they were in the league stage. If we see that kind of performance in the finals, I can tell you, Seven, I would like to see if they can try and be in that top 3, maybe take home a trophy.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I got Alpha 7 actually in the top 3 situation. I don't have them winning the tournament, but I am going to be looking forward to see how they start off the day with Nova. I mean, we talked about it earlier. Can they actually just show up and showcase why they are the back-to-back Grand Finals champions for PMGC? And then I have none other than Alter Ego, because I feel like it's just such a big question mark. This is a team that can definitely end up surprising a lot of people. We see the energy, and you know that just as much as we are feeding off that energy, the players are going to be feeding off that energy as well. The one big question mark that I do have with Alter Ego is their previous performances haven't really been that well, so we'll have to wait and see how they're going to perform here.
And with that being said, we will be heading over to John Allen and Blank. Take it away, boys, and have fun with the match.
Thank you very much. We are indeed going to have plenty of fun today. We've got 6 matches for these teams to get their teeth stuck into to kick things off. The first third of the games.
Yeah, there's going to be a fair few matches we've got on the cards today. Obviously, we've done one of them, the show match, and then obviously we've had all these really cool announcements, you know, with Turkey as well being the next. Oh, we're already confirmed that in, locked that in. That's in the calendars now, which is good news. Obviously, with the new points change as well, going down to 10 for that chicken dinner and getting much less points, down to even 0 towards the bottom end of those placements, which means that eliminations are going to become much more important next year. You're going to have to be certainly a competitive team. You can't just send towards that center anymore. That isn't the case where you just play for those 12, 13 points towards that top side of the lobby. It's just an impossibility now. So this is going to really, really put a massive change on the terms of performance of a lot of these teams. However, we will be getting into our first, technically our first game of PMGC 2022 Grand Finals very, very shortly. Already you can see just the masses of support that is out right now for Alter Ego. By the way, that back there, that little sign, that wasn't put up by us. That's the fans. They are very efficient in creating a nice little zone for those guys to stay in, which is beautiful stuff.
They bring their own. They bring their own signage. It's brilliant. You love to see it.
Yeah,
look
they
at the
did
players.
some redecoration quite quickly.
Oh, hang on a minute. No. we need to sort this out. Come on. Bring in the signs. And they did. Fantastic support being shown for the players in this tournament. You can see them starting to focus in now, Blank. They are very much getting in the zone at this stage. Look at that. Barely moving a muscle apart from those hands.
Yeah, IHC definitely looks there to be very serious. Again, for Alter Ego, we've met the coach now a few times now, Danny. He's a really great guy, actually, very nice. I think that the major thing that he did for me earlier was he showed me around because I didn't know where I was going. So he was like, I'm very good with directions. And I was like, thank you. And now I've not got lost once. However, I'm sure he's also a very good coach as well. So we're heading into the first game right now, John.
Match number 1 of the PMGC 2022 here in Jakarta. Erangel, the first match as it always is, Blank. We will be getting on with the plane. This time, it's headed from the west side down towards the Snovka military base. It's cutting a little bit low on the island, so those northern parts of the map going to be a little bit less accessible.
Yeah, a bit more difficult to head up towards Stalbert. Maybe Yaz is still accessible, but this does mean maybe fighting for vehicles on that eastern side, which becomes quite difficult, becomes a little bit of an issue, a bit of a problem for some of these teams. Do you want to cross those paths on that side? Do you want that bad luck that could bring? Also on the east, some players, some teams heading out very, very early over towards the west here. You got Demo from IHC setting up towards South George. C2K is already dropping out. Nova looks like they're heading up towards Gatka at the moment. And Vampire down towards Primorsk, a very typical spot for them.
We did see Nova have a little bit of trouble with Gatka during their gameplay in the group stages. There was another team that was dropping down there with them, but it looks like they managed to isolate that this time around. T2K going a little bit further on. Silas a little bit too close to comfort. Hot drop on a vehicle potentially, but S2G may be looking to lose a player. This early in the game would be far from ideal. S2G a little bit further east for the rest of them on this engagement. IHC dropped all the way to the west on the coast, grab 2 vehicles, will be able to tuck themselves nice and healthy. The first circle pops. It's fairly central, centered on Potato Hill.
This is a nice circle as well, considering you don't have to move too far towards that northern side. This plane path doesn't really cause too much ruckus. Maybe in the sense that obviously getting towards that top side of the map and getting some of those positions is quite rough. I think that what you're looking at the moment, though, is some of these teams quickly sending out. Obviously, IHC sent out early over towards that western side. They've moved up towards shooting range, up towards South George at the moment. But it is Alter Ego who takes school on that middle edge, like donut side of this circle, which is great to see. This is going to keep them nice and safe.
You're talking about how maybe next year we're going to see less teams be able to send very, very central, but we're not in that point system yet, right? We are still on this 15-point. We're still on that 15-point chicken dinner. And of course, if you want to be grabbing some of the loot that I'm sure some of these players will be going for, the 2022 PMGC Special Crate is on offer, but it's only there for a limited time, so make sure you are checking it out.
Absolutely drips out in this PMGC. So many cool stuff to grab, so many cool things to pick up. It's beautiful stuff overall. I think that right now PMGC 2022 has to be the best one yet. Inco over towards Shells, a team that loves to head central very quickly, pick up a position in the map and then just hold on to it. Not necessarily going for these big blast out games where you hit up towards those massive elimination counts, but those games that will see you steady over 3 days towards the end of this grand finals, where you may be able to pick up yourself a first, second or a third place. Inco though, I believe, might have some more difficulties when it comes to PMGC 2022. I think that if they're heading towards that center side, it's not necessarily always going to be as easy as that as it was over in that last chance. It looked pretty simple, the game plan for them there, but I can almost guarantee you some of these other teams that are extremely good, very well honed in capability, will be picking off these kind of rotations from Inco and to the such of other teams within this lobby.
Playing on the eastern side of things will be pretty close to Inco, in fact. See Skyly on foot this time around, might have to jump into the three-wheeler here with Kengzo. Tiger as well, maybe occupying that third spot, but Inco are further down the hill and they should be safe in prison. Hang on a minute. Vampire have managed to pull first blood out against Ketch from Fireflux. So Vampire managed to get the first point of the tournament. A good start to proceedings for them. They'll be happy to kick things off in such a fashion.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good news for them. At least one initial knock. Don't know if that was first blood, though, so far. Yeah, that's your one elimination.
Which other teams have a chance to claim their third PMGC final trophy? Nova 68% आगे चलिए 4 AM. दूसरे नंबर पर 19, Geek 13%.
So if you got that answer right, you're very smart. And or, to be honest, it's a gimme. Who won the title twice in a row? Everyone knows it's Nova. So if you didn't get it right, I'm a little disappointed, but if you didn't get it right because you're just joining into PUBG Mobile Esports now and you're joining on to us, I'm very happy you're here. And maybe you'll get it right next year if you hang on with us, because we do have so many more fun things to go.
But is it going to read who are the 3-time champions of PMGC, or is it going to be who took the title?
Who took the title away from Nova? I think that's the real question, right? I think for Nova, specifically over in those test matches, I think we didn't see absolute domination, let's say. I don't think it looked as squeaky clean as it usually is, but again, test matches, scrims don't necessarily translate extremely well when it comes to actual play, actual action, and also for Nova in particular, this is the team that often cruises through and then really pulls out those big numbers, the big action when it absolutely counts. And right now it counts more than ever.
Absolutely right towards the finals. The last 18 games of this season of the 2022 PUBG Mobile calendar are being played out right now. So there's really no more time to wait. Can't be hanging about, not this time around. But they do have their countrymen to worry about. The Wolves obviously coming in from the PL, coming into this as a potentially even higher seed than Nova, having beaten them out previously. You've also got 4 Angry Men who were able to qualify directly through from the group stages.
Yeah, I mean, 4 Angry Men are a very, very good team, doing particularly well in PAL as of recent. I think they had a bit of a fall off over in 2021, right? And I thought it was a bit of a shame that we didn't see them in 2021, considering they did have such a splash over in 2020. That's why they looked extremely strong. I think that was back when, you know, they were taking shots against Solke over in Vikendi when his team was in Castle. That was a great time. I think they looked like one of the best teams. So, again, 2021 rolls around. 4M isn't there with us. It comes as a massive surprise, a huge shock to the community. So I think seeing 4AM back here is almost a return to normalcy, honestly, which is great for me to see. This is definitely what I want to see as well.
Let's hop on board with 4 Angry Men. Kengzo under pressure now from Good Shout. Not quite able to get the full knock, but half an HP bar taken away. Fortunately, there is cover. There is a building there for Buduram to be able to take occupation of. Wolves as well, on the top of Potato Hill. You said that it was going to be just the one team in the centre. Well, now there's more that have started to move on through. This is quite a wide split over Potato Hill. 2-2 for Wolves.
Yeah, this is a typical kind of rotation. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think it's one of those ones where you can lose players pretty quickly over on that western side. And if you get rocked upon aggressively with a push up towards the north, there's only 2 players there. It's very difficult for those players on the western side to react quick enough to provide that support that they need. So you're really looking at kind of a 2v4 scenario where you're hitting one of the knocks. You don't necessarily have to finish it as a 2v4, but you certainly need to slow something down. That's where you need to be a very, very good team to make that one happen. Chinese teams, though, they are very well known for these 2-2 splits, even bigger splits than that, in fact. So if anyone can do it, I mean, we can imagine that Wolves would be able to hold this position.
Kelsey takes the lion's share of the damage there, but the buggy brings them back to safety for S2G. Circle pops, centre, a little bit to the south coast there, will keep the water in proceedings, but likely that we will be finishing over to the east side of Pachinki, northwest of Farm, southeast of school.
But playing massively over towards that edge side, right? They're not even making their way into the circle as of yet. Still yet to pass over towards Gatka. Nova decided to leave that position behind, trying to head further in towards the circle itself. We're seeing Wolves at the moment actually taking shots over towards Nova. Order's found a position that's down towards the southwest side of Potato Hill.
Nova yet to fully regroup here on their maneuvers, but they will be able to do so very, very quickly, and Jimmy wastes no time in starting to extend that Caterpillar slink back together. U-High on the hillside for GeekFam, looking to slow down the Nova IGL. Jimmy will hear those bullets whizzing on past. Will be turned away at the door, has to scout out in another direction, figure out where they want to go in from here. They're already very, very central under the purview of Wolves to their east.
Yeah, Wolves still hanging on pretty well. This is an extremely strong position that Nova currently own. One of the stronger positions within this circle, to be honest. Looks out towards that eastern side, provides a lot of cover towards the west as well with the mountainside. Well, less of a mountainside, but more of the ridge being behind you. So a really, really good position that Nova was able to find quite quickly as well. I didn't expect the team to be able to just pick this one up so easily as that. So threaded the needle, found the position they want, straight through the sweater.
Ching Chen getting some healing done there. Keeping themselves safe after the scout for the 4 angry men. Up the road compounds here towards the school. S2G outposted both sides of the road here. We have seen a couple of times where it's been 2 or 3 teams in this one settlement, but S2G have control of it for now. The circle still being fairly large means that no teams are really going to be forced into that poor spot.
Yeah, I think that when you're looking at this circle, there is a lot of areas to play, right? There's a lot of elevation, a lot of positions around the map that still have compounds, still have rows that you can play in, still have dips, dives that you can head towards. So I don't think anyone's really put out as of yet. I think for Fireflux, this is maybe becoming a bit more of an issue at this point in time, especially coming down from that northwest side. So yet to have found a home at this point in time. So for them, the rest of the game is going to be a lot about trying to find this next position within the circle. I don't think they have all the information in the world available to them with this type of spot, especially when you get to PMGC. You can see that there's still 63 players remaining, 16 teams still alive. So for a team like Fireflux, finding these positions that are empty, that are still available to pass through, very, very difficult, as teams are quite easily able to bypass one another, open space on the map to allow one another in before they really have to take these necessary fights in the end game.
DRS might have been delivered. A couple of engagements here from Alter Ego. Wolves a little bit further down on the south, but Potato is safe for now in the shack. Stays alive, looking to, I'm sure, drop a couple of stims. We'll be able to get back to full HP here. They are fairly close together for Alter Ego on their home turf, in their home ground. They'll be able to still be at 4. Who's going to go down first, though? That's the big question here at the PMGC. You don't want to be the first team getting eliminated. The next circle comes through. It's over to the east.
Again, getting that lead on the first day is really good, right? It gives you that big buffer. Able to stick up towards that top side of the lobby for a long, long while. Order being popped out by Alter Ego, no less, as well. Wonderful start for them. What a position that Nova held, and Order scouting out a little bit too dangerously. Not quite down as of yet, but Alter Ego are swarming.
They want to confirm this flush. There's no way that Nova are going to be able to get this one back either. A couple more bullets did land over towards Order, and now the rest of Nova are taking a couple of shots from Alter Ego. Paraboy worried about S2G as well at the top of the hill. Worried about that position as IHC descend onto Rig in the sidelines, and immediately a rundown and a spray down. Demo is taken out in the process, but will be safe for now. Will be just fine for the time being. Demo getting rezzed up there by Ziol.
Yeah, IHC kind of blasted off towards the end of the tournament in league stage. Created a massive gap between them and other teams to allow them to get into this grand finals. Not necessarily one of the best teams here in the lobby, but certainly with a chance to prove themselves as one of those best teams. I think right now there's other teams I've got my eyes on, but again, Mongolia was surprised before over in the PMGC. I'm sure they can do that again.
4 second places for IHC in those last chance scenarios. As Lutz takes a tumble there from Fireflux, the second player of theirs to fall. Hang on a minute, we've got a bit of a scrap with IHC. T2K looking to try and stay alive, but IHC want to finish the job that they started. And Demo again, the one to go down, and once more Ziol picks him back up.
Really good stuff. I mean, Demo's kind of just playing as the absolute punching bag of the team, which is absolutely fine. I'm okay with that. You know, as long as a little bit of sand's pouring out of him, but he's staying up on his feet, brought back. And that defensive shield in front of the team, that's all good for me. So IHC, really, really well done so far. 3 eliminations. T2K didn't know what hit him. Circle up towards that northern side. Solus still with a player on bended knee. 4 AM down underneath and down towards the southeast with Good Xiao. There's Ching Chen down towards the south too. They're playing this 2-2 split. I think that they might be ready to converge on top of Solus and Fireflux if they move further ahead of them, maybe towards that north side, and eliminate their approach into towards that circle.
The last player from T2K spotted out. Location known and isolated by IHC. On the northern side, Koyovsky has the info there as well, but not really too much ground to be playing around with to get those points on board to slurp them back up into the pocket. Fireflux, 2 players alive. They've been picked apart a little bit. Solus and Solkay, the remaining duo on the south edge of this next circle near Farm. GeekFam currently on the outside in the cold here, southwest side, near Stalwart. Nova to their north. Remember, Nova have lost a player already, so they're only 3. And Vampire further north of that.
Still 3 players, more than enough a lot of times. Influence came in. Had a seriously good run throughout the entirety of this year. It's not a case of a team that suddenly they were hit by bright light and able to head in towards the mirror and realize they didn't need the glasses anymore and they were somewhat more muscular. They've always been that way. They've just been working on it for quite some time. Fortunately, it's not going well for them.
Oh, Influence came in. Getting caught up in the web of it. IHC stringing them along now. Only Law remains on the backstop as Nova have their own problems to deal with. Nades out through the window. Influence, hang on, 2 teams have already fallen there. The burn down as Geek Squad try and roll it into Nova. It's not going well. They're turning the tides. Jimmy is down sure, but King and Paraboy set up the crossfire and the Geek fam are cut down.
Goodness me, Geek fam. This is a great chance to represent Malaysia here in the PMGC Grand Finals and look for that grand title itself. Unfortunately, going against Nova and getting picked apart like that does not bode well towards the team that is currently defending. Vampire Esports, on the other hand, this may be a different team, a different type of beast altogether.
Jimmy did go down in the process, so 2 players alive now for Nova. A knock went over towards Vampire earlier. Schweppes puts an nade through the window to back him off the angle.
Oh, it's beautiful!
But it goes long through the door. Paraboy runs right on into it. King now needs to reposition. GeekFam might be able to stay alive off the back of this knock. King dropping those smokes, allowing himself to cross, making sure that he has the cover. Fluke cannot really go for this full aggression just yet. They have to be worried about GeekFam as well, but the hillside's now controlled. King in for the res, but in comes Stone and Ravenclaw in the vehicle. In through the window, pulls the ordnance, and there they go. Nova down and out in the first match.
An entirely different beast. Is exactly what this team is. Sharp fangs, long claws, and massive, massive potential to scare here in the late game, prowling out from the bushes. Really, really well done to Vampire Esports. Cut themselves a nice bit of the circle for themselves over on this western side, can move through it. Good positions to move up against as well towards that east. With Alter Ego taking a couple of knocks there, that might just be their go signal.
Delta definitely spotted Qingchen going on into the shack, and there's the Molotov. Is he going to spread? Is it just fallen a little bit short? I think he might be able to get a first aid off there and stay alive, but that nade in through the door might just seal the deal. Outside again, DRS laying it short.
DRS, honestly, they played a very safe type of game over in the league stages. Waited a long, long time, and it wasn't until towards those final moments we really saw what they were made of, John, honestly. And I think that once we did see that, we saw that, you know, they were maybe a little bit more tougher than we expected. Considering now on the edge a lot of times, now they're taking the fights to these big teams over the PMGC.
Wolves stalwart already looking for the crash. The Wolves lose the first on the engagement. Action already on 2 eliminations as Remember falls. Memory wiped out as well. Scry into the ground floor, stays up and kicking as well. Beautiful, and Pick feet in the back lines now. Looking to pick Remember back up. Scry gets that heal off and they remount their aggression. Scry in through with that DBS. Action takes a lot of damage, but Pika is already forwards with the UMP. Pick feet falls on the top floor and Beautiful's there as well. He's found, and Stalwart keep it on rolling. The Chinese teams are being pulled apart here, Black.
Really good stuff there from Stalwart. And again, this is definitely no longer these years of PMGC being all about China. We have some seriously good teams, Alpha 7 included, taking it to the guys from Buddhadam so far. Mythic down behind them, but if anyone can do it, Revo can. This guy has been certainly impactful for the team.
Carrillo is still there as well. Tiger with the zone pushing in will have to move now. Demo from IHC. We've seen him be, you were talking about it, a little bit of a punching bag earlier, Blank, and that sand is still topping him up. Vampire on the western edge, playing still with 4. Pushing in, they will need to move past Alter Ego. Fnatic on the off angle. Vampire may be potentially unaware of it, but it looks like they're playing on that ridge line. 4 players from Alpha 7. In the meantime, on the eastern side, this is the opposite end of the circle from Vampire and Alter Ego. They're going to move on forwards, take the challenge with DRS. IHC forcing this into a linear engagement.
Again, a lot of fights can start to pop off now. All these positions no longer really able to just sit around and wait for these teams to get a little bit closer. Inco, though, once again, that macro, that game sense coming into play where they pick up that northern side compound. They do it so often, they do it so well, it almost looks like the look, but I don't think we can say that it is anymore. They just have a very good awareness of where these circles are going and which are the best compounds, which are the best routes in. All 4 players currently holding on that northern side. The only other teams that may be able to contest is S2G as well as IHC, right on the edge, but look at this. IHC is suffering.
Alpha 7, they felt the pressure of that linearized fight, and they said, you know what? We're not messing about here. We're going to isolate you. We're going to take you out of the mix. 6 eliminations now on the cards for Alpha 7, and they can continue to push in from the eastern side towards and potentially past DRS. Alter Ego in the meantime. Potato up the top of the hill has got a lot of sightlines to deal with, but Stalwart have other ideas. They're going to move up and potentially look to dethrone him.
Stalwart, like you said, looking to pull the players from Alter Ego away from this position. They also have to worry about Vampire Esports, who I think just have found one over on Alter Ego's side. That's Rex going down. Fnatic, Pombit still alive over towards the north here on that 2-1 split. So Inco really still have a fantastic position in the circle. Looking to pick up some big points here to start off the game. This is what they usually do. It's what they usually did over in league stage, which is pick themselves up a big game at the beginning and then run from it from there.
Alpha 7 have taken a knock, as have Stalwart. Vampire, 5 eliminations. They're playing well and together, but they have got a little bit of ground to cover now ahead of them. Alter Ego stay alive as 3. Taking heavy punishment from the north side now. It's S2G taking shots out their way. Fnatic will be able to get that first aid off, but up goes the vehicle and slow it goes down. Potato gets baked. And they're looking to add the cheese as well for 4 angry men. It's just Qingchen remaining. The Bison in hand as well. Pubg last standing, wants to res Fnatic in this position. Ching10 flushes out the teammate.
Again, if he takes down the last two, that would be a pretty convincing 1v3 coming through from 4 AM. With 8 teams remaining, potentially some good points here for them. DRS still going strong though. See them with 4 players still alive, 4 eliminations, certainly not bad. Alpha 7 with 6 and 4 teammates still up. Make that 7 now, looking to start out these games strong.
Inco in an engagement, but Nene Bete is holding his own, as we know he can do for Inco. Vampire moving on in now as S2G have moved down south to try and engage on this as well. Up the top, Alter Ego still struggling. So we hop over to the other side of the circle now again. Hang on a minute, we're back here. Silas launches a nade up the hill and Fnatic takes a tumble. Pubg last standing now for Alter Ego. Damage done though to the ranks of the Vampires as Alter Ego swept aside. 8th place, 1 elimination. Stalwart now with a challenge on DRS on the south side. Forwards position for actions. Pika is already down and Scry is dispatched by Gianti on the off angle. A nice find, nade in hand on the bottom of the hill, and the res up front needs to come through now, or it needs to stay tall. Rules might not even know about it. Hang on a minute, he's pushed all the way through. He's managed to get a knock on the back, and top falls as well, but they've turned around on Gianti now under pressure from action, but it's DRS, and Stalwart fall.
An insanely good crunch there coming out from DRS from either side. I don't think Stalwart saw what was coming. They went for a greedy res there towards the end too, and just wasn't quite enough. This is again what I was talking about earlier, is there's absolutely no teams within this lobby that are not a threat anymore. You cannot just pass anyone up. You can't go for these greedy type of plays. You just have to get out of dodge. Yes, having 4 players is going to lead you to a better chance of getting that win, or maybe tailing out of that fight, but sometimes you just got to run away, and that is what potentially Stalwart should have done with his smokes. Maybe got 1 knock and then just scarpered. Still go for that top 5 position. That top 3 was still in the bag, still available.
DRS turn their attention to Vampire now. Ravenclaw falls. Vampire did get up to 4, but they bumped back down to 3 fairly quickly. DRS, they have 4 players of their own, and Ravenclaw gets flushed out pretty fast there. Fluke closest now and will feel the brunt of a nade and a second to dunk it down. An alley-oop set up by the DRS squad. 9 eliminations now. And the Nepali team doing so much work, and the rundown is the start to close it down. S2G, hang on a minute, they stolen a couple away. Vampire eliminated, and now they're into the fight. S2G taking on DRS, and in the midst of it all, Ching10 has stayed alive for 4 angry men.
Oh my days, Nepali fans everywhere going to be very happy with how this game has come out. DRS playing a very, very passive game over in the league stage, but as soon as they're here in the PMGC, they've had to turn things up by 11, which is great to see. DRS currently looking very, very clean with it. Right now, a couple more teams to go. S2G, obviously a very strong team hailing from Turkey. 4 AM, 1 player remaining for them. Inco with 3, with that extremely strong position over towards that northern side. But again, DRS, they have lost 1 player, so this is still all to play for.
2 Brazilian teams remain, Alpha 7 and Inco. Alpha 7 in a little bit of a crunch though on the eastern side. Mythic low and actually under pressure from Inco, the other team from Brazil, and they will find the final knock there, the final flush. 7 eliminations, 5th place for Alpha 7. That's a very good start to their tournament.
It's a really good start to their tournament. I mean, that's going to bump them up massively. It'll give them that 11-point average kind of lead very early on in terms of like a 3-game buffer, which is ideally what you want if they can take it just a little bit further now. I think DRS realizes, which is why they slow things down massively. S2G, though, still have a chance to bring things back for themselves. It'd be a really good opportunity here to make their countrymen proud.
With the announcement that the next global finals will be held in their home country, they're looking to make their mark, to try and state their claim to be there in 2023, but they've got to get through this one first.
Really good developments coming through from Turkey this year, honestly. Just in terms of players, in terms of teams, in terms of infrastructure. And again, this has probably been one of the best years in terms of adding those really, really influential players from around the world. But again, DRS takes this one to a grinding halt now. Waiting for any of these teams around them to make a mistake. pushed us a little bit too far.
And they better with that AWM, a fearsome sight as an outpost for Inco. A star player for the roster. With a big heavy hitting gun, Vitaly ducks back into the blue, takes a lot of damage to retrieve that buggy, but that could be very, very valuable in the next circle or two to keep them alive, to give them a little bit more cover. Qingchen still alive, top 4.
Top 4's great right now for 4AM. They'll take this. Yes, they only got 1 elimination, but the point system, how it still is right now, third, second place really does offer you a very good amount of points, and this kind of game can be salvaged off the back of points like that. For 4AM to identify that, just go for this kind of gameplay. You know, it's not what they would probably do in PAL, but in the PMGC 2022 Grand Finals, this is a good call to make, and that is that adaptability of a lot of these Chinese teams coming into play.
Just needing to move a little bit further forwards in the next zone. Pretty close to the edge right now. The blue zone will not slow. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from. DRS on the south side lurking to sweep across this hill a little bit. Inco are holding out. Qingchen finally, I think, starting to strike as the solo player. Needing a little bit more ground, a little bit more position. Might be coming from DRS that actually, but S2G nonetheless still all live and kicking. All of them still in action. Calci on the backstop.
Calci, it's a good angle, but it's Vitaly. Some beautiful shots there from the SLR, looking for one more. Sees the bearers in the helmet. Can he thread the shot over the top? But no. From downhill, it was not meant to be.
Nenebete under pressure, found out as well, just Vitaly. S2G taking heavy, heavy punishment. Vitaly, he's got the SLR, and now Hamzy left with the duo of Calci to try and stay alive. DRS are in the midst of it all. 3 players for them. 6 eliminations on Killer, by the way, in the meantime. And the players from Inco started to fall down the hill. In the midst of it all, still Qingchen stays alive, but finally dispatched. The 4 angry men will go down in 4th place. Now, Vitaly around the edge has the DBS. Wait for it to go close. I don't even know if that was from the DBS. Yes, it was. Hamzy sent packing, and now Inco down the hill leave DRS a golden opportunity, which they will seize with both hands. The Nepali team shout loud in the first match.
Can you believe it, though? Nenebete was looking with the AWM to make a splash in his first game, but in fact it was Vitaly out of nowhere with the SLR and that DBS to finish things off for S2G, but DRS really knew when to speed up that game, when to slow it down, and 100% deserved that win there for Nepal. Really strong play from them. You can see that they're relieved by this as well. This is going to give them that nice points buffer available to them to carry on going.
That was pretty heavy as a game for them as well. They had a lot of eliminations on the card. You can see there's 6 eliminations for their MVP this game. 1.4k damage, near enough. Brilliant performance coming through from Killer for the squad, and the rest of DRS moved well on these hillsides.
Absolutely, I think for Killer, he's been performing pretty damn well recently, and a 1.4k mark is not an easy mark to hit either. That is really tough, and I think for him, he's going to be massively proud of this game, John.
You were talking about how these players can adapt, can change coming into these finals. This is what you wanted to see from DRS. You've talked about that change of gameplay.
I mean, this is completely like similar to Nova, right? Is that cruising playstyle over in the league stages, getting to PMGC, and they bring it all to bear there. But I think DRS maybe doesn't have that strength towards the start of the year, and I think through this team, through Delta, Rules, Killer, Gyante, they've really found this magical team set now, this magical core that's going to take them really all the way at this point in time. And for DRS, normally I would have looked at that situation, been like 3 players still left remaining, but it's DRS. I don't think they can close out this game. Now I look at them and think DRS have got this in the bag.
Seemingly really very effectively as well. Look at that. 27 smokes used, 21 grenades. It kept them together all the way until the end. They played it, I would say, near enough perfectly on these hillsides. And it wasn't like it was a game that just went to them. They had to fight for that position.
Yeah, they had to fight for 100%. I think for Inco, they're